Hi everyone, I am Junhao. I'm back with another video. Okay, this video I'll go through another paper. It's a Addmaths paper. So this is the Addmaths trial, Kelantan 2025 paper 1. Okay, yeah. So if you all want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. And also, if you want to gain early access to all my future videos, you can join my membership. All the link is in the description, lah, right? Okay, let's start this paper now. Okay, bahagian A, number 1. Alright, diagram 1A shows the variable x and y connected by this equation, while the diagram 1B is the graph of linear equation form represented by the y-axis and the x-axis with the gradient 1. Okay, let's talk about which chapter first. So it's definitely from 4 chapter 6, the linear law chapter. Okay, so they say diagram 1A is this equation. So let's label it. Okay, they already labeled for me. Okay, and then diagram 1B is the graph of linear equation form represented by the big y-axis and the big x-axis. So it means they don't want to tell you what's the y-axis and x-axis. If they put the big Y, big X means they don't want you to know the y-axis, x-axis. But they did mention that the gradient is 1. So I can label that the m is 1 here. All right. And also this straight line actually comes from this equation. Okay, but this is a quadratic equation lah, so you have to convert this to linear form. Okay, so now it says soalan A, express big X and big Y in terms of small x and small y. It means you have to find out what's the y-axis and the x-axis lah. All right, most of the linear law question they will tell you the y-axis and the x-axis, and if they tell you the y-axis x-axis is very easy. We just change so that the equation near y-axis sama dengan graph near y-axis lah. But this question they never give you the y-axis x-axis, right? But they give you the gradient and also the -4, that's the y-intercept, right? So you can use that to help you. Okay, so we all know the linear form will be y equals mx plus c, right? So if the question never tell us the y-axis and the x-axis, then they have to then maybe they will give us something else, maybe the gradient and y-intercept, right? So for this question they never give us the y and x lah, the y-axis, x-axis, but we know the gradient is 1 and the c has to be -4. So later when I change this to linear form, I just have to make sure the gradient is 1 and the c is -4. So let's write down the equation. Y equals x squared minus 8x plus 16. All right, first I just want to ask you, did you see 1 here? Because you want the gradient to be 1 later. So did you see 1 here? Yes, it's here. Because if there's no number before x squared means it's 1 here, right? So if you want the gradient to be 1, it means you want this to be 1. You want to make sure this x okay, what if I divide by x? So y over x, and then this one divided by x will be 1x, right? And then divided by x will be -8 plus 16 over x. So actually it doesn't work lah. Because if you divide by x also, okay, yeah, you can see the x, dia muncul dua kali on the right side. Okay, linear form dia punya x kena muncul satu kali saja. So yeah, I don't think that this is the correct way. So I'm gonna erase this. And also the c must be -4. So that's another problem also, right? So let me think, is there any other way? Alright, I think I see it now. Yeah, this x squared minus 8x plus 16, you can actually factorize this. Yeah, you can actually factorize this because it's a quadratic, right? And after you factorize it, you will get the x-intercept here, right? So how you factorize is use your calculator. A tekan 1, B tekan -8, C tekan 16. And the calculator will give you 4. Okay? And there's only one answer. Yeah, they only give you one answer, 4. Okay? It means 2 equal roots lah. It means this quadratic equation has 2 equal roots. Okay? So if this is 4, that means when you factorize, you will get x minus 4 like that. Okay, yeah, we are not trying to find x now, we are trying to factorize it. Okay, we are not trying to find x. So when I press the calculator, they give me the answer x4, but what we want is the baris before the x answer. So that would be x minus 4, x minus 4. Okay, like that, right? And we can write this as x minus 4 squared. And did you realize this -4, you see the c we want is also -4, right? But of course we have to make sure the square is not here. Yeah, the square cannot be here. So what I will do is I'll move the square here. So it becomes square root y. Because square, when you move here, becomes square root y, it goes to x minus 4. And there you have it. That's the linear form, right? Okay, after you change the linear form, you can write y equals mx plus c. Okay, and how I know this is the correct answer, it's from looking at the gradient and the y-intercept. Because you can see the gradient is already 1, right? The gradient, no number here means 1. And then the c is -4, which is already same with the graph. That means the y-axis will be square root y. So this will be square root y. And then the x-axis here is x. Okay. So now let's answer the question. Express big X in terms of small x. So the big X is x lah. And then for the big Y, that's square root y. Okay, square root small y. Okay, so this is your A answer. Okay, this is your A working. Okay, now let's do B. Determine whether 10 4 is located on this straight line or not. Give your reason. So we want to know point 10 4 whether it's on the line or not on the line. So how do we know whether it's on the line or not? Very simple. Just take this equation, just take this point, sub into the equation, and if the left hand side and the right hand side you get same number, that means it's on the line. If it's not same number, means not on the line. But you have to be careful when you sub inside, because when you sub inside, you have to always sub into the big X, big Y. I always mention this in my videos. When you're doing linear law and you're trying to sub a point inside, you always sub into big X, big Y. Okay. So what's gonna happen? All right, the equation we sub will be this one. So it will big Y equals to the M is 1, we know that. So 1 tak payah tulis pun tak apa. And then the X, I will write big X better. Okay, okay, so it'll be 1 times big X plus C, the C is minus 4. And the 10 4 you have to sub into big Y, big X. So it becomes 4 equals to 1 times 10 minus 4. Alright? Yeah, because 10 4, this 10 is, you have to anggap dia sebagai X, and then the 4, you have to anggap dia sebagai square root Y. That's why when you sub the 4, you don't have to put square root already. Yeah, the whole square root Y is 4 already. Okay, so now you can see that the left hand side number is 4, the right side number is 10 minus 4, which is 6. So as you can see, the left hand side and right hand side is not the same number. So this is not equal. That means this can't be right. So if this is not equal, that means this point is not on the line. So we can say no, because they ask determine whether located on straight line or not. So we say no, and then we give a reason. So since 4 is not equals to 6, therefore the point 10 4 is not located on that straight line. Okay, so if you write like that, then it's correct already lah. Okay, let me tell you where is the 10 4. Okay, yeah, it's not on the line, right? But where is it? Let me tell you now. It will be below the line. Yeah, it will be somewhere here. Okay, maybe you ask me like, sir, how you know it's below the line? How come not atas? Well, because the left hand side is smaller than the right side. You can see, right? The 4 is smaller than 6. That means it will satisfy y smaller than 1x minus 4. And when you satisfy this means, yeah, yeah, smaller means, we all learn in the inequality chapter, right? In maths, you learn it from 4 chapter 6, the linear inequalities. So it satisfy bawah, that means, yeah, they do bawah line lah, right? Okay lah, but this one is extra already lah. The question never asks whether it's on top or below, right? So you answer like that is good enough. I just mention it uh, just to make you understand. Alright, so that's all. Okay, number 2, what chapter is this? Vector, confirm. So let's write the chapter first from 4 chapter 8. Okay, let's start. 2a, given a unit vector in the direction of vector mn is ki minus 4j is this 1 over 3k k negative 4. Given that k is constant, find the value of k. Okay, there is a few methods to do this. One of the ways is you find the magnitude yourself, and then find your own unit vector, and then compare your answer with this, because this is the unit vector answer, right? So you can use this and find the, how to say, find the unit vector and then compare with this lah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I will do. Yeah. So let's find out the magnitude first, because the formula for unit vector is 1 over magnitude multiplied with the vector. So I need to find the magnitude of mn first. Okay, the formula for magnitude is square root bracket square plus bracket square. And inside the bracket, you have to put in the number before ij. So for this will be k and negative 4. So the magnitude will be square root k square plus 16. That's the magnitude. But what they gave us here is the unit vector. Okay, so as you can see, the unit vector they give us is 1 over 3k and then bracket k negative 4. So I can write my own unit vector on the other side. Okay, my own unit vector will be 1 over square root k square plus 16. And then bracket, okay, the formula for unit vector is 1 over magnitude times with vector, right? And the vector in terms of ij is ki minus 4j. But on the right side, they write in the bracket format. So let's write in the bracket format also. So now we can compare lah. So as you can see, when we compare, the k will be, but don't cut lah, don't cut, just cut in your head. So the k and k sama, negative 4 and negative 4 sama. So tak payah tulis dah. And then 1 over sudah sama. So bila kita banding, yang ini boleh sama dengan yang ini lah. So it becomes square root k square plus 16 equals 3k, and then the k square plus 16 equals to the square root can hantar sana jadi 3k kuasa 2. Tapi kena bracket lah. So 3 pun kena square ah. So it becomes 9k square equals to k square plus 16, and then 9k square minus 1 will be 8k square equals 16, and then k square equals 16 divided 8 is 2, and your k will be square root 2. But when you square root ada dua jawapan, right? Plus minus. So there's two answers lah. Alright, usually when there's two answers, you should check whether you have to reject one of the answer or not. But if you look at this question, you don't have to reject because k is a value before I, is the value before I, and the value before I memang boleh ada negative. Yeah, and they never mention about k has to be positive or negative. They never say that. So memang ada dua jawapan lah, plus minus square root. Okay. Alright, I want to teach you another method to do this. So the method I did just now is I take the magnitude of here equals to 3k. That's what I did just now. But there's another method. You can also find the magnitude of this and then it equals to 1. Yeah, because this is the unit vector answer, and unit vector means they already divide with magnitude. So the magnitude of D would be 1. So the second method is you will take the 3k darab masuk dia akan jadi k over 3k, and then cut left with 1 over 3, and then it's a negative 4 over 3k, and then do the magnitude of this equals to 1. Macam tu boleh juga, and you will get the same answer if you do that. Okay lah, hope you understand. Alright, let's do B. So B says it is given that point P25. Okay, this is a coordinate, and the vector PQ is 7i plus 9j. So I can find point Q lah, because they give you P already, right? And then this one they say P to Q is 7i plus 9j, and then find the terminal point of the vector PQ. Okay, what is terminal point? Okay, you learn this in maths. Yeah. So for those who take maths here, well, actually all of you take maths, right? Yeah. All of you watching this video right now, you take maths because every MS student got take maths. So in maths from 4 chapter 5, no, the graph, yeah, the graph theory chapter from 4 chapter 5. In the graph theory, you learn about the directed graph. You remember? You all have a good memory. So the directed graph in Bahasa Melayu is graph terarah. And for the graph terarah, when you write the edges, right? Like for example, you have an edge like that, AB, but there will be an arrow, right? Directed graph, there will be arrow. So you have to write A followed by B like that when you write the edge. Because when there's direction, you have to write the initial vertex followed by the terminal vertex, right? So the A is called initial vertex, and then B is called terminal, because B is the ending point. You start at A but you end at B, so B is the ending point. So the ending point we call it terminal vertex, right? Okay lah, but this is out of topic already. So let's come back to the vector question. So they want to find terminal point, right? What's the meaning of terminal? It means the ending point lah. So they want to find terminal point of vector PQ. So what do you think? P will be the initial lah. P will be the initial point, and then Q will be the terminal lah. So if they say find the terminal point of vector PQ, means they are asking you to find point Q. Okay, yeah, they're asking you to find this, right? But how to find? Well, they already give you vector PQ, and they give you coordinate P. So vector PQ is 7i plus 9j, right? But this 7i plus 9j come from where? It comes from Q minus P, because this is vector P to Q. Okay, so what I will do here, I will take Q minus P, and I will write it in this format, IJ. Okay, so I will take Q minus P. Okay, not P minus Q, it's Q minus P, because it's P to Q ma. So P to Q means Q minus P. So it'll be X minus 2. That will be for the I, and then Y minus 5, the one you write at J like that. Okay, and then you compare. So it becomes X minus 2 equals 7, because when you compare the number before I, you compare with 7 lah. And then the number before J, Y minus 5 equals to 9 like that. So your X will be 9, and then your Y is equals to 14. Okay, but since they ask for the point, the titik, so we have to write in the coordinate format. So how we write coordinate usually? We write the point, which is point Q, and then you write 9, 14 like that. So that's the answer. Okay. All right. There's another method to do this question. You can also do like that. PQ, you do PO plus OQ. Okay, but it's a bit slow lah if you do like that. You do PO plus OQ. But when you do PO, you have to take O coordinate minus P coordinate, and you will get negative 2, negative 5. Because O coordinate is 0, 0. So when you take 0, 0 minus 2, 5, you get negative 2i minus 5j, right? Like that. And then bracket plus with OQ, and the OQ, I want to find. But it's okay because this whole thing will get 7i plus 9j, right? So you can find OQ, just take this minus this. And after you get the OQ, that will be the coordinate. Yeah, after you get the OQ, you get 9i plus 14j already. Yeah, 7i plus 2i, 9i, and then this one is 9i plus 5, 14. Yeah, so the answer is same lah. Okay. Yeah, so you can also do like that, right? Okay, but it's a bit long. That's why I never choose to do it like that. Okay. All right. So usually I will just do it like this. Okay. Coordinate vector, if they want PQ, just take Q coordinate minus P coordinate. Okay. This is way faster. All right. Hope you understand. That's it. Number 3. Okay. I see the hard. I know already which chapter is Form 5, chapter 2, the differentiation chapter. Okay. So let's have a look at the A question. The straight line y equals 3x minus 2 is tangent to the curve y equals px squared plus qx. With p and q are constants, find the values of p and q. Okay, to explain this, I will draw it out. Okay, but there's no marks for the drawing lah. Tak ada markah pun untuk drawing ni. But I just draw it so that we can understand the question better, and also for your all students, you all can understand it also. So the curve is, equation is this. So I'm gonna write it, y equals px squared plus qx. And they say there is a straight line, y equals 3x minus 2 is the tangent to the curve. Tangent means the line will only touch the curve at one point. And since the gradient is positive, the line must going up, so it will be like this. Okay, but it's not that important lah. It's just a diagram. Okay, so y equals to 3x minus 2. So as we can see, the red color line gradient is 3 lah. Okay, yeah, the MT gradient tangent is 3. And they say with P and Q are constant, find the values of P and Q. Okay, don't read the English one. The English one is wrong, di. Yeah, the Malay one, the English one is wrong, di. Dengan keadaan P dan Q pemalah pada coordinate x equals 4. Yeah, so the tangent point x coordinate is 4. So the y coordinate we actually don't know. Okay, and we cannot find also because even if you sub inside here, can lah. Okay, if you sub inside here cannot lah. But if you sub into the straight line equation, you can find the y. Because when you sub the 4x here, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 2 is 10. So yeah, this is actually 10. But I feel like I will not be using the 10, but I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's okay. Let's just write it for now. So now we are trying to find P and Q. Cari naik PQ. So macam mana? Okay, very easy. Just do dy dx, and then take your dy dx. Answer equals to 3. Okay. Yeah, because the gradient tangent, you can find it by using dy dx. Okay, that's how you find gradient tangent. You learn this. You learn this in chapter 2, Form 5. All right. So I'll write the curve equation: px squared plus qx. When you differentiate this dy dx, you will get power darab depan, so 2p, and then power minus 1 is x. Differentiate qx is just q, and this one is called the gradient tangent. Sorry, it's called the GF, gradient function. Gradient function ataupun gradient curve. And then what you do is you sub the x coordinate 4 inside, but when you sub it inside, you will get the gradient tangent. And since they say the gradient tangent is 3, so I'll just write 3 here. So 3 equals to 8p plus q. Okay, now I'm stuck here. So I'll call this equation 1. I'm stuck here because there's 2 unknown, right? So I cannot proceed. So I will find another equation that has p and q, and then later do simultaneous. We do the penggantian penghapusan. Alright, how to get another equation yang ada PQ? Alright, you remember just now there is a point that passes through the tangent line, 4, 10, right? And I find the 10 by taking the 4 sub inside here, right? But this point also passes through the curve. That means I can take the 4, 10 sub inside here also. And that's how you get the second equation, by the way. Yeah, you want the other equation to have PQ also. So when you sub the 10 inside, you become 10, and then px squared plus qx, and then the xx you sub with 4, 4. And the reason why you can sub inside like that is because this point passes through the curve also. Yeah, when the point ada passes through, means you boleh ganti masuk macam tu. So you end up with 10 equals to 16p here, and then plus 4q. And there you have it. That's the equation 2. So now you can take these two equations and do simultaneous. Let's see, 16p plus 4q plus 10, 8p plus q. So wait, this one can simplify, right? 10, 16, 4, all these numbers can divide by 2. So let's divide by 2 first. So 5 equals to 8p plus 2q. And then only I call it equation 2. And then now I do the simultaneous. Okay, you can use the elimination method or substitution method. But I feel like I will use the penghapusan cara, the elimination method, because I can see the 8p, 8p same already, right? So I'll just do 2 minus 1. Equation 2 is 5 equals 8p plus 2q. And then equation 1 is 3 equals 8p plus q. And why I minus is because I'm trying to eliminate the 8p. Because 8p minus 8p is 0. And then 5 minus 3 is 2. And then 2q minus 1q is q. Okay. That is why just now here I divide by 2 lah. That's why I divide by 2. Because I want the I realized all these numbers can divide by 2, and I also realized after dividing by 2, this 16 will become 8. And then the 8p can hapus. Alright, after finding the Q, now I sub inside to cari P. So when Q equals to 2, okay, let's sub into, okay, you can sub into either one. Let's sub this one lah. 5 equals to 8p plus 2Q. And then the Q bracket ganti 2. So it will become 5. 2 times 2 is 4. Pindah sini jadi minus 4 equals to 8p. So 5 minus 4 is 1. So your P is 1 over 8. So this is your P answer and this is your Q answer. Right? Okay, what they asked for, P and Q, right? Cari nilai PQ. So 4 marks, yeah, sudah siap. Kau tim. Alright, let's do B. Determine the limit value for height. Okay, height in English is LIM. Limit, x approaching negative 3 for this. Okay, before you sub the negative 3 inside the x, first thing first is you have to double check whether this thing can factorize or not. Yeah, I mentioned this in my last video. I forgot which state paper lah, but one of the paper they asked this kind of question also, but I forgot which state. And I mentioned the same thing on that video. I said you cannot just sub inside straight away. You have to check whether this thing can factorize or not first, or whether they can simplify or not, right? Because if you sub now, you imagine if you sub now, negative 3 plus 3 will be 0, and when you divide 0, you will get math error, right? So that means it will be undefined already. Okay, that's why you cannot straight away sub lah. And I'm sure the x plus 3 nanti mesti boleh potong dengan atas. Because kalau tak boleh potong, then there will be no answer already. Because negative 3, if you sub now, you get math error. So what I will do is the x plus 3, I'll write it. And you realize or not, atas ini adalah quadratic equation. That means you can factorize. Okay, you can factorize. But you also have to try with your calculator and see whether they give you like a jawapan yang cantik atau jawapan tak cantik. Kalau jawapan cantik baru boleh factorize. Kalau jawapan yang tak cantik, maksudnya jawapan yang tak boleh tukar fraction, that means dia tak boleh factorize lah. So I will press now. The A is 2, the B is 3, C is negative 9. So my calculator give me jawapan yang cantik, 3 over 2 and negative 3. But that's the X answer. I don't want the X answer. I want the baris before the X. So what I have to do is I have to pindah balik the 2 jadi 2X, bahagi jadi darab. And then plus 3 pindah jadi minus 3. And then the minus 3 pindah balik jadi X plus 3. And you realize you can cut the X plus 3 now. Okay. Yeah. When you have something times something over something, kalau dia sama atas bawah boleh potong. And now only you take the negative 3 sub inside. So it becomes 2. Okay, the limit no need to write already. And then the negative 3 go inside. So it becomes bracket negative 3 minus 3. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Minus 3 is negative 9. And that's the answer. Alright, that's all. Okay, number 4. This one is probability distribution. Form 5, chapter 5. Okay, dalam bahasa Melayu is taburan kebarangkalian. And it's binomial. Yeah, it's under binomial distribution. This chapter got 2 subtopic, right? Binomial distribution and normal distribution. This one is binomial. Because this graph is the binomial distribution graph. Okay. Okay, diagram 2 shows the binomial graph with the distribution X and then with this symbol and then B and P. Alright, I already know the N has to be 4. Yeah, it has to be 4. It has to be 4. You know why? Because when we draw the graph, we will usually start from 0. Okay, and the y-axis you used to write probability. And then the x-axis you used to write the small x. Or sometimes they call it R lah. So that's the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is, so what this means is the probability for 0 success is K. And then the probability of 1 success is 1 over 8. Probability of 2 success is 1 over 4. And then 3 kali success probability 1 over 2. And then 4 success is this. So the N is definitely has to be 4. Okay, but the small p I don't know yet. Small p I don't know yet. And then A says determine the value of K. Alright, you can already see that the Px equals 0 is K, right? And then Px equals 1. Okay, when the R is 1, the probability for x equals 1 is 1 over 8. And then the Px equals 2 is 1 over 4. And then the Px equals 3 is 1 over 2. And then the last one, Px equals 4 is K. And you know the N is 4. That means your big X would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all the possible values of X. It means 4 kali you buat experiment, tapi mungkin 0 success or 1 success or 2 success, 3 success, 4 success. But they're asking for K, right? So to find K is actually very easy because the total probability for all this would be 1. Yeah, the probability for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, semua tambah should be 1. That means all these values add together should be 1. So what I will do now, I will take everything add together equals to 1. So K plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 2 plus K equals to 1. Okay, K plus K, 2K. And then this one I will press 1 minus 1 over 8 minus 1 over 4 minus 1 over 2. So I got 1 over 8, and then your k will be 1 over 8 divided 2 is 1 over 16. And that's the answer. And I can put it here, 1 over 16. Okay. All right, now let's do P. Find the values of N and P. Okay, I already know N. The N is 4. Confirm. Okay, that one don't have any working. Yeah, the one just tengok sini terus tahu dah. Okay. But the small P, this one you have to do some working. And you have to use the probability formula. Yeah, the probability formula you learn in the binomial distribution. So the formula looks like this: NCR P power R Q power N minus R. This is the formula. But since you don't have the P, you have to choose this or this. Yang ini tak boleh pilih. Because if you choose this, later you will stuck. Okay. Okay, later I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's do this one lah. Px equals 4 equals k. So Px equals 4 equals k. And the k I know already is 1 over 16. Yeah, I find it just now. So when we use this formula, it will become NCR. So it will be 4C4. Okay. Yeah, because the N is 4 and the R is also 4. And then bracket, bracket. This one masuk small p. And small p memang kita nak cari. And then this will be the probability of failure Q lah. But we don't have that also. But it's okay. Because later this one can cut. Yeah, you know why? Because this power will be same with down here 4, right? And then the power here will be 4 minus 4, which is 0. So Q power 0, this one can cut. That is why I said you can only use this or this to find the yeah, when you don't have the probability of success, you should always use this or this. Okay, why this one cannot? Because if you write this, what happens here? It becomes 4C2, and then this one P power 2, and then this one Q power 2 already. And then you cannot cut this. Yeah, then you stuck with two unknowns, then yeah, you cannot continue. Okay, but if you look at my working now, this one cut already, this one cut already. You can see now, you just left with one unknown. So you can find the P. So the kuasa 4 pindah jadi punca kuasa 4. Okay, yeah, so the power 4 become 4 root. So 4th root of 1 over 16, you use your calculator also can, you get 1 over 2. Okay, the soalan never asked to find Q, right? Yeah, they just asked for N and P. So N is 4 and the P is 1 over 2. So it's worth 3 marks. Okay, I think that's it. All right. Okay, let's do number 5. Okay, this one looks like, okay, I see square root without using progression method. Okay, this one is the Form 4 chapter 4. Indices, surd, and logarithm. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's start. Given that h over k equals to 1 over 3 plus 0.0454545 dot dot dot, find the values of h and k without using progression method. Okay, first of all, let's talk about 1 over 3. So 1 over 3, if you convert to decimal, it will become what? It will become 0.333333, and it keeps going until forever. Okay, and what do we call this kind of decimal? We call it infinite decimal. No, recurring decimal. Why did I say infinite? Okay, it's called recurring decimal. Okay, yeah, recurring decimal. And what is recurring decimal? Dalam bahasa Melayu, perpuluhan berulang. So recurring tu maksudnya berulang. So I write in the English, write the BM also, perpuluhan berulang. So perpuluhan berulang tu macam mana? Dia punya after decimal point, digit tu dia akan ulang sampai infinity lah. Dia akan ada banyak-banyak decimal place and it just keeps on repeating. Okay. Yeah. So 0.333 is a recurring decimal. Okay. And all recurring decimals can be converted into fractions. All recurring decimal. Doesn't matter it's 0.333 or 0.45454545. Doesn't matter, or 0.67676. That doesn't matter. As long as it's a recurring decimal, then it can change to fraction. It can convert to fraction. It means all recurring decimals are rational number. Rational means dia boleh tukar jadi fraction. Dia boleh dinisbahkan. Okay. Now answer me. This 0.0454545, is this a recurring decimal? The answer is no. The answer is no. Because you can see after decimal point, there is one digit that doesn't repeat, which is the 0 here. If this is 0.045045, then yes, this is a recurring decimal, because you can see the 0.45 and then it stops and repeats. 0.45 stops and repeat. But now it's not because the 0 never repeats after the decimal. The 0 only one time only. Okay. So this is not a recurring decimal. So when we convert this to fraction, it will have some problem later. Okay. Yeah, there will be some problem later when we convert this to fraction. But it's okay. We don't worry about that. Let's tambah dua-dua ni dulu, because they want us to add these two numbers, right? So I'm gonna add the two numbers. So h over k is equivalent to, yeah, this plus this, right? So it's gonna be 0.33333 plus 0.04545. So it's gonna be 0. Okay, this and this will add together, so it'll be 3 ah. And then the next number is 3 plus 4, that's going to be 7. And then the next 3 plus with 5 is 8. And then the next 3 plus with 4 is going to be 7 and 8, and then 7, 8, and then dot, 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 right? Okay, so you end up with something that is not a recurring decimal. And I repeat one more time, why is it not recurring decimal? It's because the 3 never repeats. Yeah, the 3 only appear one time only. Okay, okay, the 7, 8 repeats lah. So it's a problem. Yeah, it's a problem because the method we're about to use it only works for recurring decimal. Okay, so how to convert this into recurring decimal? I times 10 lah. Yeah, because when you times 10 the decimal move here, then suddenly you see after the decimal the digit repeat. Because the 3 is the problem, right? So what I'll do, I times 10. So instead of writing h over k, I'll let n equals to 0.3787878. Oh, by the way, they say without using progression method, right? Yeah, so yeah, there's two method. There's two method to convert recurring decimal to fraction. First method is called the surd method. Okay, it's called the surd method. Yeah, the surd method. And then the second method is called the progression method. Okay, and the progression method, you have to use the sum to infinity formula. Okay, yeah, but they already say cannot, right? So that's why I will not be using the s infinity. Okay, so I'm using the surd method. I'm showing you the surd method. All right, first step is times 10. But when you times 10, of course, the other side n also have to times 10, and this will become 3.787878. Okay, and I'll call this equation 1. Okay, and the reason why you want times 10 is because you want the digit after the decimal point to repeats. Okay, so now you can see it's repeating already. Okay, so now what you can do, you will take the equation, okay, I should call this equation 1, and then this one should be called equation 2. Okay, and then now what you do, you try to take find another equation that has 0.78, that how to say this, yeah, you try to take equation 2 times 100. Okay, times 100 is because okay, this one is equation 1 times 10. Okay, why I take equation 2 times 100 is because where the recurring is, some recurring decimal they repeat after 1 digit, some repeat after 2 digits, some repeat after 3 digit. So if they repeat after 1 digit, you times 10. Okay, but if repeats after 2 digit, you times 100. If repeat after 3 digit, you times 1000. Macam tu. So I times 100 because they repeat after 2 digit. You see, after the decimal, it repeats after 2 digits, 7 8, and then stop, and then 7 8 stop, 7 8. Yeah. So I will times 100, equation 2 times 100, so that it becomes okay, the 10n have to times 100 also lah, so it becomes 1000n already. And then the right side times 100 becomes 378.787878, like that. And I'll call this equation 3. Okay, so now you can take equation 3 minus equation 2. Okay, yeah, because you want to cancel out the digit after the decimal point, because when you cancel all of that, you will end up with a, yeah, you will end up with the number, then you can find the fraction. So I will take equation 3 minus equation 2, so it will be 1000n minus 10n, which is 990n. Okay, okay lah, I don't want to skip lah, I write the full step. 1000n minus 10n. Yeah, because you ambil bawah tolak atas. And then on the right side also you ambil bawah tolak atas. So what will happen to the digit after the decimal point? They will just disappear lah, because the 0.78787778 is like, you can see it's parallel with this. So it's gonna just, when you minus, everything will just disappear. So all this hilang already, all this hilang already. So it's just left with 378 minus 3, which is 375. Okay, like that, 37 minus 3. Okay, so now it becomes 990n equals to 375, and now you can get your n already. And guess what? N is the answer for this. So yeah, 375 divide 990. Okay, this one you can simplify, but don't simplify yourself. Just let the calculator do it for you. Just press 375 divide 990, and the calculator will simplify nicely for you. 25 over 66. So that would be the answer. Okay, okay, but the soalan asked for h and k, so I feel like you should change the n back to the h over k, and then after that write one more baris for them and write down h equals 25, k equals 66, like that. Yeah, I recommend you do like that. Okay, all right, so that's the answer. Okay, let me tell you another method to do this question. Another way to do this is you also can do it like that. The 1 over 3 is 0.333, right? So you can also change this to fraction and change this to fraction separately. Means this one you change to, because this is already a recurring decimal. Okay, and you can change to fraction, and actually you don't have to change already. It's 1/3 lah. Yeah, it's 1/3 lah. So I guess the second method I'm talking about, you just have to change this into recurring. But you can see that this is not a recurring because the zero didn't repeat. So what you can do is times 10 first lah. Just like this lah. Same like here lah. Times 10. After times 10, you will get one equation, and then take that equation times 100. Times 100, so that it becomes 45.4545, and then take that equation minus with the previous equation, and then do, and then after you get the answer, the final answer fraction plus with 1/3. Can also. And you will get the same answer as this. Okay, it's the same anyway. So you want to do like that, can also. Okay, I think that's enough for the A. Now let's do B. Given that Q square root 2 equals to 7/3 minus square root 2 minus P, find the value of P and Q. All right. So they said P and Q, but you can see they only give us one equation, and in one equation there is P and there is Q. So maybe we have to compare, because when there's more than one unknown in the equation, usually we have to compare, right? Hmm. Okay, Tupper, let's not worry about those things first. I will first write down the Q square root 2. Hmm. Okay, I can see there's a fraction, right? So usually I don't like it when there's fraction. So boleh tak kita hilangkan fraction? Boleh. Yang ini nanti means O1, right? So everything times 3 minus square root 2 lah. So what I will do is the Q square root 2, I will times with 3 minus square root 2. And then the 7/3 minus square root 2, I will times with 3 square root 2 also. But you just left with 7 lah. Because when you times 3 minus square root 2, cut already. Potong-potong. And then the negative P pun sama, saya akan darab dengan 3 minus square root 2. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to get rid of the fraction. Saya nak hilangkan pecahan. Ya, sebab kalau ada pecahan susah nak pindah kan. So bila dia jadi satu baris macam ni, tak ada pecahan, dia jadi senang lah. Alright, so let's try to expand. And I'm sure I'll use the compare method later. Why I'm so sure is because there's two unknowns in one equation. Ya, so kalau dalam satu persamaan ada dua unknown, maksudnya you tak boleh pindah. You macam mana pindah pun tak guna. Sebab dia ada dua unknown. Dia ada P dengan Q. Bila you cari P, Q kacau. Bila you cari Q, P pula yang kacau. So dia memang tak ada cara. You pindah macam mana pun tak ada guna. Unless you have two equation lah. Unless you have two equation yang ada PQ lah. Then you boleh buat penggantian, penghapusan, buat persamaan serentak semua tu. Tapi kalau untuk case yang macam ni, satu equation saja, dia mesti guna cara banding. Mesti guna cara banding, compare. So what I'll do is I'll kembang this, and then later arrange a bit and then compare. Okay, Q square root 2 times 3 will be 3Q square root 2. And then Q square root 2 times square root 2. Okay, the Q, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen to the Q. Because square root can only times with square root. So square root 2 dengan square root 2 darab, dia akan dapat 2 lah. Yeah, you learned before, right? Square root 2, square root A times square root A is A. So square root 2 times square root 2 is 2. Equals 7. Negative P darab juga dapat negative 3P. Negative times negative is positive. P times square root 2 is just P square root 2. And I told you in the beginning, I already told you in the beginning, I will need to compare later. I'll need to banding later. So I'll just arrange it in a way that we can compare. So the 3Q square root 2, I will write it. Minus Q times 2 is minus 2Q, right? And for the right side, I can see there's similarity. Okay? Because when you banding, dia mesti ada something yang sama on both sides. So let's find out what's same on both sides so we can compare later. So you can see they both have square root 2. So that would be the key to solving this question. So the square root 2 dia ada. So yang ni pun ada square root 2. So I'm sure I'll be writing the square root 2 first. And the rest, the 7 minus 3P, that one I'll just write it like this. So now what we can do is we can compare. So when we compare, we look for things that are same first. So what are the things that are the same? It's this square root 2 and this square root 2, right? So it means the coefficient of the square root 2 and the coefficient of square root 2, we can compare. Coefficient means dia punya perkali. Okay? Or you can say the number before square root 2. So automatic 3Q equals to P. Then what about the rest? Okay, the rest will be same with the rest lah. Like that lah. So it becomes negative 2Q equals to 7 minus 3P. Because both of these can equal ma. So they are actually the same thing. So when you overlap them together, your P is 3Q and then your 7 minus 3P is negative 2Q like that. Okay. Alright. Now you have two equations and both this equation has two unknowns. This one got PQ, this one got PQ. So we can do simultaneous. Dalam bahasa Melayu, persamaan serentak lah. So you can do penggantian penghapusan. But since this one, the P is already single already. Tengok, P sudah single. P sama dengan 3Q. So why not you just buat penggantian, just ganti masuk. Negative 2Q sama dengan 7 minus 3. Bracket P masuk je 3Q. And then negative 2Q sama dengan 7 minus 9Q. And then negative 9 hantar jadi plus 9. Dapat 7Q equals 7. Q sama dengan 1. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. And after finding your Q, ganti balik jadi P. So P sama dengan 3 bracket. And then Q1 just letak dalam sini lah. So dapat 1. So P sama dengan 3. Alright, so that would be the answer. P equals 3, Q equals 1. Question asked for PQ, so that is my PQ. Alright, that's all. Okay, for 6A, I will do it up here. So I need some space. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make space. Alright, so you have to wait for me a bit. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to bring this up. Okay, so what chapter is number 6? Okay, I see indices, and then I see some log stuff. Okay, looks like linear law. Okay, whatever. What I'm sure is like the A is indices. Yeah, the 6A is indices. The B, I don't know first. So this one is from 4 chapter 4 indices. How I know? Because you see the word already, indices, you see. And also look at the question. Given that 4 times 3 power 2x plus 1 plus 17, 3x minus 7 equals 0, by using the law of indices method, show that the value of x equals negative 1 satisfies the equation. Oh, so that means they give you the answer already, lah. It's a show question, right? So the answer is x equals negative 1, right? So we actually know the answer already. Yeah, x is negative 1, but we have to show the full working by using the law of indices method. All right, first thing, let's write the soalan. 4 bracket 3 power 2x plus 1 close bracket plus 17 bracket 3 power x minus 7 equals 0. All right, when we do this kind of indices question, we have to pecahkan everything because it's a plus minus question, right? And also when the law of indices, you only learn that a power m times a power n, it becomes a power m plus n. That's the first law you learn. And then the second law of indices is a power m divided a power n equals to a power m minus n. Okay, there's a lot more down here, lah. There's a lot more, like a power m power n is a power mn. And then there's one more yang negative punya, a power negative m is equals to 1 over a power m, right? Yeah, so and then what else? If you have square root a is a power 1 over 2, and then cube root a is a power 1 over 3. Okay, so that means if you have n root a is a power 1 over n. Okay, and then the last one I guess is the a power 0 is 1 lah. Okay, okay lah, these are the few basic ones lah. The few basic, okay, the basic law of indices. But we only have to focus on these two only. Okay, yeah, so you realize that the law of indices says if you have same base times the power you can plus. If same base divide the power you minus, right? But what if it's the same base plus here? Then you cannot do anything already because you can't do it like that. So what you have to do is you have to separate everything. Yeah, the method, kalau ini tambah tolak, you cannot separate everything. That means you have to do this formula in reverse. Instead of combining jadi single base, you separate it, becomes like that. Okay. But you only do this if it's a plus minus question, right? Yeah, so what you can do is become 4 times, and this one you should separate everything. Pecahkan. Okay. So when you pecahkan, it becomes what? So you can see the a power m plus n, your a is 3, right? And then the m plus n, that's the 2x plus 1. So imagine you change it to this. So it's going to be 3 power 2x times 3 power 1. You are still using this formula. You're just using it in reverse. Yeah, using this formula in reverse. And then plus with 17, and then times 3 power x. So just write times 3 power x, and then minus 7 equals 0. Okay. And the way I teach my student is, I always tell them, okay, after you pecah like that, I will always tell my student, I always ask my student like this. I will ask them, ada berapa rumah? Ada berapa rumah? Or got how many terms, right? So the correct way to kira ada berapa term is, ada 3 term. Okay, this one is the first rumah, this one is the second rumah, this one is the third rumah. Okay, and I always tell my student the plus minus sign is like the dinding. It's like a wall that separates the rumah. Okay, it's the wall that separates the rumah. The times divide, that one we don't. That one is not the. That one is not the wall. Okay, that's not the wall that separates the rumah. So this one you count it as one single term. And then ada 2 rumah, 3 rumah. Okay. So now we go rumah by rumah and see what we can do. And kalau dia boleh darab, kita darab. Kalau tak boleh darab, kita letak bracket. So 4 times 3 boleh buat today's 12. And then yang tak boleh buat ni, kita letak dalam bracket 3 power 2x. And kenapa kita tak boleh buat yang ni? Sebab nilai x tak ada. Yeah, because the x they never give. We don't know. That's why we just write it in a bracket. Now let's go to the second rumah. Siapa boleh buat, saya tulis dulu. 17 boleh buat, yang tu tulis. Yang tak boleh buat, letak dalam bracket. Okay. And then minus 7 like that equals 0 lah. Alright, after you do that, now you check whether this bracket and this bracket dia sama tak. Kalau dia sama, then kita boleh tukar jadi A. Kita boleh tukar jadi A. Then it become easy already. 12A plus 17A, then you can just solve that and then cari A. And then after cari A, ganti balik. But now they are not the same, right? Ini 3 power X, ini 3 power 2X. So make them the same lah. So you can write this as 3 and the 2 you can put it outside like that. Okay, put it outside like that. Okay, plus 17 bracket 3 power X minus 7 equals 0. Because you learn in law of indices, when you have the power side by side like this, both the power you have to times together. M times N. So that means if you write it like this also is the same thing. A power N power M. Yeah, because 2 times 3, 3 times 2, same thing. So that's why the 2X, you can write it like this also. And why I write it like this is because I want this and this to be same. Because when they are the same, I can change to A. I can let A equals 3 power X, and then I have my equation already. 12A squared plus 17A minus 7 equals 0. And now it becomes a quadratic, right? So I can just solve for this quadratic, and then later, after I solve for this, I will get two answer, and then the A change back to 3 power X lah. Okay, but I need space. So we have a big problem here. Is it possible if I just do this? Okay, you have to wait me a bit. So I will do this. I will do this. I will do this. I will do this. And then the A power 0, 1, I will bring it here. And then this I will erase. And then I will move up. Okay, so I will continue here and factorize for A lah. Okay, this one can press calculator already. Because dia tak boleh kecilkan already. Cannot simplify. And also dia depan tak ada negatif lah. So we just tekan calculator. A12, B17, C-7. And the calculator give you two answer. 1 over 3, negative 7 over 4. So you write that down and then write bracket bracket equals 0. First bracket, you have to pindah balik 3 lah. So bahagi jadi darab. So 3A plus 1 hantar balik jadi minus 1. Yang ni pun sama hantar balik jadi 4 darab A. Minus 7 hantar balik jadi plus 7. Okay. Alright, don't forget A is actually 3 power X. So you have to put it back like that. 3 power X. And then this one is 3 power X equals to 1 over 3. Okay, this one you have to reject. Yeah. Kalau dia 3 power X, and actually any number lah. Any number power X equals to negative number automatic reject di. Because dia memang tak ada satu nilai yang you boleh masuk sini yang boleh jadikan jawapan dia negatif. Okay. Because if you have 2 power 2, you get 4. 2 power negative 2 is 1 over 4. So 2 power X equals to negative 4. That's just undefined. Ini memang tak ada jawapan. Yeah. You masuk negative 2, you tak dapat juga negative number. Even if the power negative, you still end up with a positive answer. That is why when the right side number, kalau dia something power X equals to negative, automatic dia undefined. Rejected. Okay. So you left with the only one left with is this one lah. And we all know 1 over 3 is actually 3 power negative 1. We use this law of indices, remember? So 1 over A power M, remember this is 1 over 3, right? So imagine 1 over A power M can change to A power negative M. So now if I have 1 over 3 power 1, they can change to 3 power negative 1 lah. That is why it's like that. And kenapa saya tukar macam tu? Sebab saya nak sama base both sides, so we can banding. So when we have same base on both sides, A power M equals A power N, same base, that means the power will be same also. You can take the power equals power. So your X equals to negative 1. And also this is a show question. And they already give us the answer just now. Show that the value is X equals negative 1, satisfy the equation. So you can see my answer match with the answer here. So we can write shown. Okay, we can write shown. Okay, I need some space. Just give me a little space. Okay, so I'll just write here shown. Okay, so that's how I will do it. All right, so that's it. All right, B. Table 1A shows the variable of x and y. So we have a table x, y. And then table 1B represents log x base q, log y base p. Okay, it's a different table. Find the values of p and q. Okay, this looks like a linear law question and the indices and the log question combined together. Yeah, but the A is an indices question, right? So I guess maybe it's just an indices question. Okay, so obviously this point is 1, 8. This point is 9, 16. If you write in coordinate form. And if we assume this is the new x-axis, then this will be 0, 3. This will be 2, 4. But we can assume that this will be the corresponding point. Yeah, this one and this one is the corresponding point, and then this one and this one is the corresponding point. That means we can find the PQ by using this information, right? So when the x is 1, the y is 8, but you will get 0, 3. Okay, so how I will write it? Okay, I'll write it like this. When x equals to 1, right, I can find the log base qx is equals to 0, right? So what happens is you combine, so it becomes log base q, and then the x is 1 equals to 0 lah. And then 1 is equals to, okay, then we do anti-log. So when we do anti-log, you can pinna the log base to the other side, and when you pinna the log base become the number base, so 1 equals to q power 0. But I'm trying to find q, but this doesn't help at all, because q can be any number, right? Because any number power 0 is 1. I told you in the law of indices, right? You see, a power 0 equals to 1, and a can be any number. 2 power 0 is 1, 5 power 0 is 1, 7, 6, 9 power 0 is also 1. So this doesn't help us to find q actually, because q power 0 equals 1, but I need the exact value of q, but the q can be any value. So this doesn't help. So let's use another one lah. So this one and this one, just now I use this one and this one. So why not I take 8 and 3 and try to do it. So when, okay, the 8 is y, right? So when y equals to 8, my log 8 base p will be 3. Okay, yeah, because they say log y base p equals to 3, right? And that means log base p 8 equals to 3, and yeah, you can actually find your p. So you do anti-log, and when you do anti-log, the log base you pindah sana, and then the log base will become the number base, and then the 3 becomes power. So your p will be, okay, cube pindah jadi cube root, or in bahasa Melayu kuasa 3 hantar jadi punca kuasa 3, eh. So punca kuasa 3 8 adalah 2, so itu p jawapan. Okay, we still need a q answer. So let's do this one and this one pula. Okay, I'm trying to find q. So x is 9, but log x cube is 2. So when the x is 9, the corresponding value for log x base q is 2. So when you sub, it becomes log base q, the x is 9 equals to 2. So your 9 equals to q square lah, because you buat macam tadi. And then your q will be square root 9, but square root 9 got 2 answer. So your q will be plus minus 3. 3 or negative 3, right? But let me tell you something. The log base cannot be negative. The log base cannot be negative. Okay. Actually, the x also cannot be negative. Yeah, both these numbers cannot be negative. So we have to reject. So I would write here, since q has to be bigger than 0, q must be 3. Okay. So I think I'm done, right? They asked for p and q, so that's my answer lah, 2 and 3. Okay. Okay. What if I use this point and this point? Okay, I believe you'll get the same answer. Okay, let's try. When y equals to 16, and then the log y base p is 4. That means log 16 base p lah, because the y I sub 16 equals to 4. And you can see 16 equals p power 4. So p, okay, this is power 4. When you pindah jadi 4th root. And when you 4th root 16, you get 2 also. Yeah, so you end up with p equals 2, which is same with this lah. Okay. Yeah, but I don't think you have to do both lah. I don't think you have to do both. Okay, because you end up with the same answer anyway. So I think just these two is enough. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's all for this. I'll continue. Okay, number 7. All right, what chapter is this? Let's see. Perimeter. I see 2 circle. Okay, Form 5 chapter 1 is called circular measure dalam bahasa Melayu, sukatan bulatan. All right, let's read the question first. Diagram 3 shows 2 circles, center P and Q. Let's check. One circle center P, one circle center Q, with the radius of 6 cm and 10 cm respectively. Small circle radius is 6, so P to R will be 6 also lah, because P is the center, right? So when you tarik to R, which is the side of this circle, will be 6 also. And then the center of the big circle is Q. Tarik here is 10. Tarik R, it will be 10 also lah. Okay, that means the whole line here is 16. And this is actually a trapezium. Okay, yeah, this is actually a trapezium. Okay, okay, and then they say the 2 circles touching each other on the R. Let's see. These 2 circles, they will kiss at R. Yeah, they both touch at R. Okay. And then TS are tangents of the 2 circles. What is tangent? Tangent means this line will only touch the circle at one point. And it's true, because TS dia sentuh circle ni dekat satu point je, point T, and then sentuh the other circle at one point also at S. And you have to know something. When you tarik from center circle to the tangent point, it will always be 90 degree. Okay. That's why they write 90 90 here. Okay. Okay. And I need you to know that these 2 lines will be parallel one. Yeah. it will be a trapezium, and these two lines will be parallel. Okay. All right. Let's see what else down here. Soalan A show that the angle PQS is approximately 75 degree 31 minutes. Oh, it's another show question. Just now already have one show question. Now the another show question. Okay, show question means what? It means they already give you the answer, then you just have to show the working. So this is the answer. Ini jawapan dia. So nanti jawapan saya kena match dengan ni lah. Kalau tak match dengan ni, kalau tak sama means I did something wrong. Okay, so let's try to solve for PQS sekarang. Mana PQS? Sini, sini, sini. So saya kena cari sudut sini lah. Alright. Okay, I will tell you straight away the method lah. You have to cut this trapezium. You have to cut this trapezium. Okay, and then use the sokato to cari. Okay, maybe you ask like, sir, like how come you know this so fast? Okay, the reason I know so fast is because I do a lot of exercise, and I'm very familiar with this kind of question where they give you two circle, one big, one small, and then join like that. Like I'm very familiar, and the method is always like that one. Yeah, so when you do like a shit ton of exercise, you will get so good at it. Like just from the diagram, you already can predict how they will ask already. Yeah, because when you do so much, right? Like for example, like me, you see my videos is filled with trial videos. I feel like I did so many trial exercise, so it's like I'm immune to the question already lah. So it's like whenever I see this, I know very fast lah. And I'll just tell you why is it like that lah. Because this angle, if you want to find it, there's no other formula you can use, right? Like you cannot use length of arc formula because they never give you any arc, and you cannot use area of sector formula also, not the chord formula definitely, and not the segment, yeah, because they never give you any information on that. So the only way to do it is by using right angle triangle. But you can see that this angle is inside the trapezium. So this trapezium, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it so that the angle here becomes inside a right angle triangle. And how do you cut it? You don't cut like that. One of my student pernah cakap macam tu. She say like cut like that, and everyone laugh. I didn't laugh lah, but like all her friends beside her laugh at her. But no lah. If you cut like that, the angle will cut in half already. So and you don't cut like that also. You cut like that, what? There's no 90 degree. Okay? So the correct way to cut it is actually here like that. Because if you cut it like that, you will get, yeah. Because a trapezium is actually a rectangle and a right angle triangle combined. So when you cut it like this, you will have, this is T, this is S, and this will be 90, 90, 90, 90. And then this is 6, this will be 6 also. And the whole line here, 10, that means here is 4 lah. Okay. And then you have this hypotenuse also, because it's 16, right? Okay, but this one I don't have. But it's okay, I don't need that also, because I can use the Sokato to find this angle already. Yeah, because when you find angle and you have any two sides of the right angle, then you can find it already. Okay, use sin, cos or tangent. Alright, depan sudut kita panggil opposite, depan 90 kita panggil hypotenuse, the last one we panggil adjacent. So the two side you have is A and H. So soka toa, which one? A and H, so it should be cos, because ka. So it should be cos angle PQS, right? This one is PQS. So cos angle PQS equals to adjacent or hypotenuse 4 over 16. Okay. Cannot use sine or tangent. If you use sine tangent, not enough information. So you can't find. Okay, so how to find angle PQS? Just tekan shift cos 4 over 16. Right? And they want in degree minutes, so I write in degree minutes, 75 degree, 31 minutes. So yeah, it's exactly the same as what they want here. Okay, so now you can write the word shown. Okay, a few things I want to mention before I proceed. When you tekan shift cos or maybe shift sine or shift tangent, there's actually two answers. I always mention this in all my Addmaths trial videos. There's actually two answers when you tekan shift sine, shift cos, shift tangent. Because of the quadrant. Because we have add sugar to coffee, and if your cos answer gives you positive answer, that means there will always be two answer. So for cos positive, one at quadrant 1, one at quadrant 4. And to get the quadrant 4 answer, you have to take 360 degree minus the reference angle, which is 75 degree 31. But if you do that, you will get like 200 lebih lah. But why I didn't do that is because I know this angle confirm cannot be more than 180. Well, actually, it confirmed cannot more than 90 because it's an angle inside a right angle triangle. And this is already 90. Okay, so yeah, the total angle inside the triangle should be 180. Okay, and this is already 90 already. So 90 plus 90, so the two angles here add together should be 90 lah. That's why this angle is not possible for this angle to be a quadrant 4 angle, because quadrant 4 means it's more than 270 already. That's why we didn't do that. But still, you need to know this, because for trigonometry chapter, sometimes they want you to write the fourth quadrant answer. Because sometimes they want to include all the answers, right? So you have to know that also lah. And one more thing is you make sure you know how to do for degree minute lah. Because in all my videos, I always teach in degree minute one, and this is why lah. Because I know sometimes the question will ask like that, and some students they don't know because the student every student know how to do the decimal thing. The degree minute, not all. That's why whenever I write all the angle, I always write in degree minute. Okay, yeah. Because if you don't know, if you are not knowledgeable about the degree minute thing, then you will how to say struggle on the A question lah, because it's like you don't know how to write it, right? Yeah, so make sure you know that. Okay, B, calculate the perimeter of the shaded area. Okay, the shaded area is this one, and they want the perimeter. So perimeter means you find the lines, the side, you find the side, and then you tambah semua side lah. So you have three side here. Okay, so I feel like I have to find all three sides first because tiga-tiga side pun saya tak ada. Sekarang tiga-tiga pun tak ada. Okay, but let's find one by one. Okay, I'm gonna find this side first because this is the easiest one to find. Because I already have the angle, 75 degree, 31 minutes. So how do you think I will find this side? Well, this is the arc. So you can use the arc formula lah. S equals r theta, and you have both the radius and the theta already. Okay, yeah, the theta angle at the center is, you find it already. So let's write down arc rs equals to r theta. R is 10 times with the theta, but the theta has to be in radian, right? Okay, now it's in degree minute, but it's okay. You convert lah. So how do you convert from degree minute to pi to radian? You times with pi over 180. Okay, the pi ada tak dia cakap guna apa? Tak ada kan? Okay, but most of the time circular measure question dia mesti guna 3.142 one. Yeah, it's always 3.142 for circle chapter lah. For this chapter, it's always like that. So let's just use 3.142. Okay, I will not press everything first. I will just tekan yang ni je. Yeah, only this one first. Then only I give them the final answer. Okay, 75 degree, 31 minute times with 3.142 divided by 180, I get 1.318 radian. And then times 10, I get 13.18 centimeters. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, this is the arc RS. Now let's move on to the next arc, which is arc RT. Let's go, arc RT. Use the arc formula again, r theta, but this time I don't have the theta because the theta is here, right? So I need to find out this angle. But do you know that this angle is actually from here to here, which is 90 degree plus with this small angle, right? And this small angle, you can find it. Just take 180 minus this, because this one you already know is 75 degree, 31 minute. So I'm going to press my calculator now. 180 minus 75 degree, 31 minute minus 90. Okay. Okay, my calculator give me 14 degree, 29 minutes. So the small angle right here is 14 degree, 29 minutes. And when you plus with 90, you get the full angle. So plus with 90 is 104 degree, 29. So this angle is 104 degree, 21. Okay. Yeah, just use your calculator to help you lah. Alright, now with the angle, now we can find the arc already. So r theta, r is radius 6, theta is 104 degree 21, but I have to convert to radian. So convert, I have to times 3.142 over 180 lah. Alright, so what is this angle in radian? 1.824 radian. And then answer times 6, and then you will get 10.94 cm. Okay, so now we are done with the both arc. Now the only line left is TS lah. Okay, how do you find the TS line? Let's use this diagram. TS. Okay, TS is sama panjang dengan PS, right? Yeah, because I told you this trapezium, when you cut it like this, you will get a rectangle and a right angle triangle. So the rectangle atas bawah punya line mesti sama. So you can use the right angle triangle to find the side PS. Okay, and I will use the Pythagoras theorem. And why use Pythagoras? Because you already have the remaining two sides, 16 and 4. So your TS will be same with PS, right? TS is same with PS. And PS comes, you can find it by using Pythagoras theorem. Square root, bracket square, bracket square. Here is 16, here is 4, and you have to minus because you are not finding the longest side. PS is not the longest side of the right angle. Okay, yeah, it's not the hypotenuse. So you press this, you will automatically get the panjang. So if I write in 4 significant figure, is 15.49. So if this is 15.49, means TS is also 15.49 lah. Okay. Okay, actually you can also use the sin cos tan to find the PS. Yeah, like for example, you use this if you use this angle lah, let's say you can use sine also. Sine this one 75 degree 31 equals to opposite over 16, and then pindah. and you will get the same answer also. Okay, yeah. But usually when you have two other sides, the other two usually when you have the other two sides and you're trying to find the remaining side, usually the easy way is just to do Pythagoras theorem lah. Okay? Okay, after doing all these three lines, now we can add all everything together. So we have the perimeter of shaded area equals to 13.18. That's the first arc, second arc, and then the line 13.18 plus 10.94 plus 15.49. All right, add everything, press that in your calculator, you get 39.61. And then the unit is in cm lah, because that's the because everything is in cm. Okay? So that is why. All right, let me double check something. 15.49 plus 13.18 plus 10.94. Yeah, correct. So that's all for this question. Let's move on. All right, number 8. This one, I see cos, I see sine, I see cos square. Okay, confirm is from 5 chapter 6. The trigonometry chapter. Huh? Okay, I will do my A question up here. All right. Okay, first of all, I just want to mention this question. They want you to find sine alpha. It means they want to find something angle, right? So you have to draw. You have to draw. For this type of question, you memang kena lukis. Okay. And when you lukis, you have to label the information that they give you, and usually they will tell you which quadrant is the angle. Okay, and then you just put it there lah. All right. I think the English one is messed up already, because what is cosec? It should be C lah. This one. Cosec. That's not how you spell cosec. It's SEC. Yeah. And then 90 minus alpha equals 13/5. Find sine alpha. Okay. We will be labeling this angle later in the diagram. Okay. But I want to talk about what is cosec 90 minus alpha first. So because later they are asking to find yang angle alpha, tapi yang information dia bagi adalah 90 minus alpha. So we will use the complementary angle formula to convert it. So okay, I'll just write the notes here. Okay, if you are my student, you mesti tahu pasal benda ni because you pernah salin. Okay, yeah, this is the nota. Okay, yeah, the complementary angle. So complementary angle means when two angles tambah dapat 90 degree. So sine 90 minus theta equals to cos 90 minus theta equals cosec 90 minus theta equals sec 90 minus theta equals what else? Sine cosec tangent 90 minus theta equals cot 90 minus theta equals. Okay. All right. So sine 90 minus theta is actually cos theta. Cos 90 minus theta is sine. Yeah. So just remember sine and cos dia kawan baik lah. Sine dengan cos kawan, and then cosec dengan sec kawan. So kalau cosec dia akan jadi sec sini, and then kalau sini sec sini akan jadi cosec. Tapi kalau tangent dengan cot dia kawan dengan dia sendiri. So tangent dengan cot, so this one is cot theta, and then cot dengan tangent macam ni. Okay. Yeah, so this is the formula that we will be using later. So yang saya buat soalan ni dia bagi cosec 90 minus theta. So but they write alpha. Yeah, they write cosec 90 minus alpha. So I can change to sec alpha lah. It means this information is sec alpha. Okay, is sec alpha equals 13/5. So I'll write it here. Okay, so A sec alpha equals 13/5. Okay, for those who are confused why I suddenly can change the cosec to sec is because of this. If you have cosec 90 minus theta, you can change to sec theta. That is why you see the alpha 90 minus alpha now become alpha already. And then the cosec can change to sec like that. Macam tu And what is sec? 1/cos, right? And then if 1/cos is 13/5, then cos must be 5/13 lah. Like that. Okay. Yeah. So this is the information that we will label. So now it's time to draw lah. Okay. Actually, I don't like this question. Okay. Actually, this is good. Like this part of the question is good. But why I say I don't like it is because they never tell me the quadrant. They never tell me the quadrant of the angle alpha. They should tell me actually. They should tell me because there will be two possible position. When your cos is positive, it can be quadrant 1, it can be quadrant 4, right? And they should actually tell us because angle alpha is only one angle, right? It's only one angle. So it's either quadrant 1 or quadrant 4, but they never tell me. Okay, they never tell me. So I want you all to change the question. I want you to go here and you tambah something like this. You can say alpha is an acute angle. Okay. I know the soalan never say this, but yeah, I want to make the soalan better. So you all help me tambah this in your book. Okay. So alpha is an acute angle. So what does it mean? It means alpha is a quadrant one. Okay. Actually, they should mention it one lah. Yeah, they should mention it one. For this kind of question dia kena bagi tahu which quadrant. Ya, tapi soalan ni dia maybe dia lupa ke apa, saya tak tahu lah. So it should be like that. Okay. Okay. So now we all know alpha is acute angle. Now we can locate, and we know which quadrant to locate already. It's quadrant one. So just locate across and then locate satu dekat quadrant one and then tarik to x-axis. Okay. Oh, I know some student they might go and do this. They might go and tekan shift cos 5 over 13, get the answer, and then maybe do sine answer because sine alpha. Don't do that. Don't do like that, please. Okay, that's the wrong method to do it. Okay, you will only do like that if they ask to solve for alpha. When they ask you to solve, when they ask you to find theta. But if they ask for you to find something data, then this is not the correct way. Don't find the reference angle. No. The correct way is actually to draw and then label and then baru buat soalan. Alright, the angle will be here because it's quadrant 1. So depan angle kita panggil opposite, depan 90 kita panggil H, hypotenuse, the last one is adjacent. And since dia cos, so cos punya formula adalah A over H. So padam A tulis 5, padam H tulis 13. So 5, 13. And you can find the remaining sides. And you should find it. You should find it. Because if you don't find it, later you cannot find the sine alpha. Okay, so it becomes square root, bracket square, guna Pythagoras lah. Sini masuk 13, sini masuk 5 and minus. Because you are not finding the longer side. Okay, so yeah. So you get 12 here. So now you know the panjang here is 12 lah. Sekarang dah boleh buat A lah, sin alpha. So sin alpha sama dengan apa? Okay, sin punya formula saw, opposite or hypotenuse. And also the angle alpha is same with this angle, right? So kita boleh terus tengok ni, ambil O over H. So it will be 12 over 13. Okay, and it will be positive because alpha is in the first quadrant. Add sugar to coffee, first quadrant memang all positive. Okay, now imagine if your alpha is in quadrant 4. Because cos positive dia memang boleh jadi quadrant 1, quadrant 4. Quadrant 1, quadrant 1. Now imagine if it's quadrant 4. That means my cross has to be here already. And my angle will be here already, my alpha angle. But the reference angle for this will be inside. So it's okay, you can still label the 5 over 13. Okay, 5 is the adjacent, so here, 13 here, 12 here. And then your sine alpha will also be 12 over 13, but I have to put negative already. Because your alpha is fourth quadrant. Okay, so your sine alpha will also be 12 over 13, but why got negative? Because in the fourth quadrant only cos positive, and you're finding sine. That's why I put negative. That's why I say I don't like this question. Yeah, because it never mentioned the alpha is which quadrant. Okay, that's why I asked you to tambah benda ni lah. Yeah, it's quadrant. Like assume lah. We just assume it's quadrant 1 lah. So actually they should tell us lah. Because if they never tell us, there's no way for us to know. Ya, because alpha ada dua possible, dia boleh berada di dua tempat yang possible. Dia boleh berada di quadrant 1 pun boleh, quadrant 4 pun boleh. Sebab cos positif. So dia memang kena bagi tahu. Tapi dia tak bagi tahu lah. So I just change the question myself. Alright, so but anyways, that's my explanation and yeah, that's the answer. Hope you understand. Alright, let's move on. Okay, for B pula, hence prove that, oh my god, so many proof question in this paper. Just now I already do 2 show question already. Tadi sudah ada 2 show, sekarang proof. Okay, so proof means they will give you the answer already lah. So 1 minus cos square alpha equals 144, 169. So kita boleh jadikan left hand side tu itu soalan, and then on the right side that one I bawa tak nampak. Because yang tu adalah jawapan and saya kena proof, saya kena buktikan bahawa benda ni boleh sama dengan 144 or 169. So kita bawa tak nampak yang ni, and then kita proof lah sekarang. Okay, 1 minus cos square alpha. Cos square alpha means cos alpha times cos alpha. Okay, cos alpha darab cos alpha. Itu maksudnya cos square alpha. Okay. So kalau saya nak cari cos square alpha, apa kita buat? Just buat cos alpha times cos alpha lah. And what is cos alpha? Sini sudah ada mah 5 over 13. Ataupun you nak tengok right angle, cari pun boleh. Cos is kah. So A over H 5 over 13. So positive 5 over 13. Okay. Tapi dia ada kena tulis sekali lagi. Sebab dia ada square, cos square. So cos alpha, cos alpha. So dia akan jadi 1 minus 5 atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. So 25 over 169. And bila you tolak, dapatlah 144 over 169. Okay, proven. This is the left hand side. And this is the right hand side. So proven. Proven lah. Yeah, because your answer is already matched with the answer they want. Okay, very easy. That's all. Okay, 9A pula. Alright, I see the keyword already. They even highlight it. Infinite solution, no solution. This one confirm. Form 3, chapter 3. Form 3 pula. Form 4. Okay. Form 4, chapter 3. It's called system of equation. Okay, system persamaan. And it's under 3.1. Yang ada 3 variable. Because only when they got 3 variable, you will get infinite solution. Okay. Yeah, because when it's 3 variable, when you draw in the graph, it will be a plane, right? Okay, let's see. A, state the difference between infinite solutions and no solution for a system of linear equation with 3 variable. Nyatakan beza antara sistem persamaan linear dalam 3 variabel yang mempunyai penyelesaian tak terhingga dengan tiada penyelesaian. Alright. The most obvious difference between the two is the intersection point. So you can mention about the intersection point. So for infinite solution, dia punya intersection macam mana? So for infinite solutions, the planes will intersect along a straight line. That's how you know you end up with a infinite solution. That's the difference. Intersect along a straight line. Okay. Now, for no solution means what? The planes, the planes, it's a 2D planes, does not intersect. Okay, actually, do not intersect. Do not, because planes is plural, so you have to put do cannot write does not. Do not intersect at any point. Okay. Okay, let me explain further what I'm writing here. So bila dia ada tiga variable, dia akan jadi macam ni, ax plus by plus cz equals d, like that. And when you draw this out, it will be a 2D plane. Yeah, so there will be x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. So it's like you have to use the 3D system lah. Okay, 3D coordinate system to plot it. Okay, and for infinite solution is when all the 3 planes they intersect along a line. Because when they intersect along a line, that means you have an infinite amount of solution. Okay, yeah. And then what is no solution? No solution is when all the 3 planes they never even intersect, right? Okay, I'll try my best to draw it lah. So the first one is like, let's say it's like this, like let's say got three planes, and they intersect at one line. Okay, it's very hard for me to show you lah, because it's a 3D thing, so it's very hard for me to show you lah. But it's like that lah. It's when 3 planes intersect and they intersect along line. No solution means when they do not intersect, right? Okay, in terms of calculation, how will it be when you like when you do the calculation, when you do the penggantian penghapusan? How will you know when it's an infinite solution? When you do the penggantian penghapusan and you end up with 0 equals 0. When you end up with 0 equals 0. Okay. No solution is when you end up with 0 equals k, and the k can be any number. 0 equals 1 or 0 equals 2 or 0 equals 3. So I think you can include that in your difference also. Yeah. So when you do the penggantian penghapusan, you end up with 0 equals 0. That's how you know it's an infinite. And then for no solution, when 0 equals k. Okay. Okay, there's actually 3 types of solution. Okay, one more is called one solution lah. One solution is when the planes intersect at only one point. Okay, but that one you don't have to write because the question never asked, right? And for one solution, you end up with x satu jawapan, y satu jawapan, z satu jawapan. Okay. And most of the question yang dia tanya mesti ada jawapan kan. Takkanlah dia tanya exam dia tanya soalan yang tak ada jawapan, right? Tapi pernah jugalah, tapi rare lah, jarang dia tanya yang ini. Usually most of the question yang ada 3 variable mesti ada jawapan. Mesti ada one solution. Okay. So one solution is when the planes intersect at one point and you'll get x, y, z satu point macam tu. Okay. Okay, this question asks for the difference between these two, so I'll just write like that. Okay, hopefully you understand. Let's continue. Alright, B, this is not 3.1. This is 3.2 already. Because it doesn't have 3 variable. It only has 2 variable. So later I'll be using substitution method. But they say using elimination. But how? Okay, tak apa, kita try dulu. Solve the following equation by using elimination method. Okay, you all know why I'm surprised. It's because when we do 3.2, they will give us 2 equations, one linear and one non-linear. And usually, it's not recommended to do elimination method for this type of question. We should use the substitution because the equation satu linear, satu non-linear. So, guna penghapusan usually can also, but usually it's not recommended one lah. Okay, but this question actually dia paksa kita, dia kata kena guna. So later I'll try my best to do that lah. And then they say give your answer correct to 3 decimal place, right? Okay, if by using substitution, I will make the x single and then ganti dalam macam tu lah, eh. But they say must use elimination ah. Okay, if you want to hapus, we need to make sure the x and x square sama dulu lah. Ataupun y dengan x sama. Okay, so it's possible. Just darab dengan x lah. Okay, just darab dengan x. Eh? Okay, but if the question never say using elimination method, please don't use this method. Okay, because sometimes the non-linear equation can get very complicated. So yeah, it's not recommended lah. Unless the soalan say it like this question, the soalan cakap kena guna, then baru kita guna. Eh? But if it's like regular, they never say have to use which method. Just use the substitution for the soalan yang macam ni ya, yang bagi satu linear satu non-linear. Alright, so I darab dengan x. So apa yang kita dapat? 3x square. Okay, kalau ini darab x, semua kena darab. So negative 2xy. And then 6 also darab x, 6x. And then yang bawah nothing happen. 2x square plus 4xy equals to 2. Okay. Something weird. Uh, 3x square minus 2. But this one got 6x. This one 2. Okay, tak apalah. Okay, when we want to do penghapusan, we want to make sure that the number before the x square kena sama lah. Then baru kita boleh hapus, right? Ataupun kalau x, y depan sama, boleh juga hapus, right? So, I think I should hapus x, y lah, guys. Because if I hapus x square also, you left with 2 unknown, right? You left with x, y. Sangkut juga, right? Problem also, right? So I feel like the only way is to hapus the x, y. Because then you will left with the equation yang ada x sahaja. Even this x also is fine because it's still one unknown, right? So I think the only way is to hapuskan x, y. Tapi kita kena make sure nombor before x, y tu kena sama dulu. So this one is equation 1, this is equation 2. I have to samakan number before x, y. This one is negative 2, this one is 4. So I will take equation 1 times 2. So that dia sama lah. And so nanti boleh hapus x, y. So 1 times 2 it becomes 6x squared. And then negative 2 times 2 is negative 4xy equals to 6x times 2, which is 12x. Okay, I'll call this equation 3. And don't forget 3 come from 1. So you will take 3 hapus dengan 2. Okay, equation 3 is 6x squared minus 4xy equals 12x. And then this one is 2x squared plus 4xy equals to 2. Okay, kalau nak hapus xy tu kita kena tambah ke tolak? Okay, kalau nombor sudah sama means confirm boleh hapus already. You just have to fikir tambah atau tolak. Okay, the way I teach my student, I will always tell them, kalau dia punya nombor sudah sama and tanda dia sama, then tolak. Tapi kalau tanda tak sama, tapi nombor sama, you tambah. So nombor sama, tanda tak sama, so kena tambah lah. And you mesti tahu kenapa tak boleh tolak. Sebab kalau tolak, dia jadi negative 4 minus 4, dia jadi negative 8xy. So you tak hapus pun apa. Kalau you tolak, you tak hapuskan anything. So it's like you what are you doing? It's like you tak hapus pun. Kalau tambah baru dapat hapus. Negative 4xy tambah 4xy kosong lah. So tinggal dengan 6x square tambah 2x square tu 8x square. 12x tambah 2 tu tak boleh buat. Tak boleh buat. Sebab x dengan number tak boleh tambah. Kalau x hanya boleh tambah dengan x je. So kalau x tambah nombor you kena tulis macam ni. Oh, dapat kuadratik. Ada square. So bila ada square macam mana? Semua hantar on one side equal 0 lah. Jadi general form. So minus 12x minus 2 equals 0. But before you press calculator factorize tu, you simplify dulu. Semua nombor ni boleh bagi 2. So bagi 2 4x square, bagi 2 6x, bagi 2 1. And then tekan calculator. And hopefully kita dapat jawapan yang cantik lah. Jawapan cantik means jawapan yang boleh tukar fraction. But wait. Dia dah kata give your answer correct to 3 decimal place. So actually you should know that when the question says something like that, give answer to 3 decimal place or 4 significant figure or 3 significant figure, that means confirm. You have to use the quadratic formula. Negative b plus minus square root b square over minus 4ac over 2a. Okay. That means your answer will be a jawapan yang tak cantik. And you have to use the quadratic formula to solve it. Okay. So I don't think I have to try with the calculator lah because they already give it away. So remember this always means that the answer is like is jawapan yang tak cantik lah. So I'll just apply the quadratic formula into my working now. So it will be x equals negative bracket plus minus square root bracket square minus 4 bracket bracket over 2 bracket. So it's gonna look like this. This is square root and then you have the over line here. Alright, let's masuk all the nilai. This bracket and this bracket you kena masuk B, so negative 6, negative 6. This one and this one kena masuk A, which is 4, 4. And this one you have to masuk C, negative 1. Alright. X equals to berapa? Okay, 2 times 4 boleh dapat 8. Negative 6 is 6. Plus minus tulis je square root. Okay, yang dalam ni kita kena tekan semua. And there's a name for this value. We call this the discriminant. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pembeza layan. Pembeza layan. So, pembeza layan awak berapa? 52. Okay. You just tekan je macam ni. Tapi square root tu jangan tekan. Just tekan yang dalam je. Macam mana saya tulis, macam tu lah tekan. So, tekan semua, dapat 52. And then, you have to split this into two answers. Sebab dia ada plus minus. So, the first one you tekan 6 plus square root 52 over 8. And then the other one you tekan 6 minus square root 52 over 8. Okay, tekan yang plus dulu. Okay, dia kata 3 decimal place. So, it will be 1.651. Okay. And then the other one, or x equals, okay, yang ni you tekan yang minus lah. 6 minus square root 52 over 8. Okay, this one is negative 0.151. 3 decimal place kan? 3 decimal place means lepas decimal point kena ada 3 digit lah. So, macam ni jawapan dia. Okay, now we have to sub balik inside to cari y. Tapi macam mana nak sub? Alamak, susah ni. I think I will sub into this one lah. Yeah, this one, right? Or this one better. Both also same lah. I think I'll just sub into the first one lah. Alright, so I'll just write here. When x equals 1.651, and then I sub into this one, 3x minus 2y equals 6, and then the x is 1.651. Okay. Okay, later I'll get negative 2y, and then something here equals to 6, and then negative 2y equals like that, pindah, and then y equals, right? But I have to do again. So because x got two answers, so when x equals, the other answer is negative 0.151, and then same thing lah. 3x minus 2y equals 6, and then the x is 0.151, and then darab tulis sini minus 2y equals 6, and then pindah jadi negative 2y equals like that, and then y equals, So now it's time to use calculator to help me lah. Alright, 3 times 1.651 dapat berapa? Let me press 4.953. But that's not the answer, obviously. Okay, so let's write it there first. 4.953. And then pindah sana. So 6 minus answer. So I got 1.047. Oh my god. I almost dropped my calculator. Okay, so 1.047. Okay, divide by negative 2. So what do you get? Negative 0.5235. But you only write 3 decimal place, so negative 0.524 lah. Okay, that's one of the answer. Now we continue here. Alright, so 3 times negative 0.151. Okay, let me press negative 0.453. And then when you move this, become plus. So 6 plus answer 6.453. And then divide with negative 2, right? Okay, I got negative 3.2265. But 3 decimal place. So 3.227. 3.27. Okay. Positive or negative? Negative. 3.227. All right, with that being said, I am done with this question. Okay, I feel like it's better if you write down all the answers in one line. So I'll write dot 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 and I'll write all the answers. Okay, the way to write it is we have to use the symbol later. Okay, x equals 1.651, comma, okay, when x is this, you get y is negative 0.524 like that, and then use this symbol, dot, comma, and then when x equals to the other one, negative 0.151, your y is negative 3.227. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm done with the question. The question want me to use penghapusan. I use penghapusan. So as you can see, it's like much more complicated. Yeah, because when they give you the one linear and one non-linear, you should always use penggantian. Okay. Okay, but I know this question they said use elimination lah. And of course, if they want you to use elimination means they will try to make sure that the question is memang ada cara boleh guna baru dia akan cakap lah. So this is how I would do it, and hope you understand. So 3 decimal place, 5 marks. Alright, that's all. Okay, for the 10A, I will do it up here. So I have to make space. So let me put this up. Okay, let's go. What chapter first? You see progression already, so from 4 chapter 5. The Janjang chapter. Okay, the A, I'll do it here. The first 3 terms of the progression is 2x plus 5, 4x. Alright, this is the first 3 terms. The T1, the T2, and the T3. And if this is the first three terms, that means you can find the x already. Yeah, you can find the x already. Just take the difference here and the difference here and then equal. Find the difference equal, right? Okay, but let's see, is that what they want? Find the value of x, hence determine the arithmetic mean value. Okay, I don't know what is this, but it's okay. Let's find the value of x first. Okay, value of x memang senang untuk cari. Just do T3 minus T2 equals T2 minus T1. And the way I always teach my student, I always tell them, kalau you punya progression ada unknown, ada x, ada k, ada y, ada z, ada apa-apa unknown, you buat macam ni. Uh, T3 minus T2 equals T2 minus T1. Because when the terms are right next to each other, that means they will definitely will have the same difference. So you just find the difference and then equal lah. Okay, 4x minus T2. But be careful, your T2 is 2x plus 5. So you don't write like that. It's wrong if you write like that. When you minus with two terms, you should always put a bracket. Because you have to cut under everything for everything inside the bracket. So it becomes 4x minus 2x minus 5. And then you left with 2x minus 5. But of course, you have to do T2 minus T1 here. So it'll be 2x plus 5. Okay, this one you just minus with satu term saja. So no need to worry too much about it lah. But when you minus two terms, then the bracket is very important. Okay, 2x and minus 2x is 0. So this is 5, this is 5. So now how to continue? I'm trying to find x. So 2x equals to 5 plus 5. 10, x equals 10 divided to 5. So that's the answer. Now next part, they want to determine the arithmetic mean value. What? Seterusnya tentukan nilai mean arithmetic. What do I mean by that? Mean Why suddenly ask for mean? Okay, I think they want the mean lah. That means the average lah. So I think you have to take these three terms, add together, and then divide by 3. Because that's how you find mean, right? That's the mean formula. So I'll stop here. Okay, the mean formula is you take the sum of all the value, divide with n. Okay, so the mean will be T1, which is 2 times x, but the x is 5. So ganti masuk. And then next one is 2x plus 5. So 2 times 5 plus 5. That's the second term. This one is the first term. Okay, for the third term is 4x, which is 4 times 5 like that. And then everything over 3. Everything over 3 because it's 3 numbers. Okay. All right, so your mean will be how much? 2 times 5, 10, 10 plus 15, 25 plus 20, 35. Sorry, 45. 45. Okay, is there any way to make space here? Oh my God. Wait. Okay, so this one is 45 over 3, and then your mean is 15. Okay, I think that's what they want. I think that's what they mean by arithmetic mean value. So that's it. Dot 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 x equals to 5 because they ask for x and then ask for mean value. So mean equals 15 lah. Okay. Okay, that's all. All right, B. I mean A2. Sum of the first 8 terms of the progression. Okay. I think they are asking to find S8, right? S8. It means you have to find the first 8 terms add together. But you don't go and do T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, T7, T8, and then add all those things. No, don't do like that. It's very slow. So you just use the SN formula. Okay, just use the SN formula. But you need your A and D first lah. So what is your A and D? A is 2 times X, which is 2 times 5. So that's your 10. And then what's your D? The difference will be 5. Yeah, remember just now when you take 2x minus 2x, 2x plus 1, you get 5, right? So the D is 5. So now you can find the S8. Okay, the formula for Sn, where I should write it? Okay, I'll just write here. So Sn is n over 2, big bracket, 2a plus n minus 1d. This is the formula to find Sn for arithmetic. Okay, so 8 is your n. So your 8 over 2, big bracket, 2a plus n minus 1 times d. So the a will be 10, n minus 1 is 8 minus 1, 7 times d, 5. 8 divided 2 is 4, 2 times 10, 20 plus 35, which is 55 times 4, 220. So that is the sum of first 8 terms lah. Done already. Okay, that's it. It's quite easy. Okay, I'll do my B down here. Given that the n term of arithmetic progression is given by this. Okay, if they give us their own Tn formula, then we should use formula yang dia bagi. I know you got memorized one Tn formula yourself, which is Tn equals A plus n minus 1d, right? But for soalan yang macam ni, yang bagi formula dia sendiri, kita kena guna formula yang dia bagi. Sebab kalau you guna formula yang you belajar ni, you takkan cukup information because you tak ada AD. Formula yang dia bagi ni lagi bagus sebab dia tak payah masuk AD dah. You masuk N saja. So you should be using the formula that they give you. If they got give you lah. If they give you the formula, then use the one they give. So find the common difference of that progression. Okay, common difference means you find D lah. And the formula to find D is find the Tn minus the Tn minus 1. Yeah, that's how you find difference, right? You take any term in the progression minus with the term before, which is Tn minus 1. So do that lah. Alright, so the D is equals to Tn, which is 5n minus 8, but let's put it in the bracket. And then minus with Tn minus 1. Okay, for this, I will use the same formula, 5n minus 8, but the n has to be replaced with n minus 1. So now it becomes D equals to 5n minus 8 minus with, okay, be careful. This one, you can see dalam ni dia ada banyak term. That's why the big bracket is important. And then here become 5n. And then minus 5 times 1 is minus 5. And then minus 5 minus 8 is minus 13. And I told you, right, when you minus with two terms, you have to put a bracket because you have to tukar tanda untuk both terms inside the bracket. So it becomes negative 5n plus 13. And then 5n minus 5n is 0. So your D is 13 minus 8 is 5. So that's the D answer. Okay. Okay, of course you can do it another way, which is you find the T2 minus T1 lah. Can also. And then find T2 is like you ganti the 2 inside lah. 5 times 2 minus 8 and then tekan. And then ganti 1 dalam, tekan 5 times 1 minus 8 and then tekan. And then take the T2 answer minus T1. Can also. You dapat sama je. You dapat ini juga kalau you buat macam tu. Yeah. Okay, second question. Find the value of n if Tn equals 47. Yeah, this one easy lah. Just take the 5n minus 8 equals to 47 lah. That's all. Right? You don't go and ganti n47. No. If you ganti n47, it means you're finding T47 already. But the 47 is not n. The n kita nak cari. The 47 is the Tn answer. So you should take the whole thing equals to 47. And then pindah je lah. 47 plus 8, 55. N is 11. Oh my god, this is so easy. Alright, that's all. Sudah siap. Okay, number 11. What chapter is this? Okay, I know already. No restriction. This one is from 5 chapter 4. It's called the permutation and combination chapter. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pilih atur dan gabungan. Okay, usually this chapter dia punya working sikit saja. Dia tak ada guna banyak tempat. So I'll just write it down here. Alright, let's read. A tennis team consisting of 4 men and 4 women was selected. Okay, if they say select, that means you have to use C. Select means choose. You choose, you pilih. So bila you pilih, susunan tu tak penting. So kita tak ada apa? Tak ada arrange. So kita buat C lah. Alright, from 6 men and 7 women, including a pair of twins, Dania and Damia. Oh, like that. Okay, so A, find the number of ways the team can be formed if there is no restriction. Okay, the 6 men, 7 women already includes these twins, right? But the problem is the Dania, Damia is man or woman? Okay, I usually don't like this kind of question because I usually not good at not good at knowing whether the name is a boy name or girl name. Okay. But I did some research lah. Yeah, I did some research. Dania is a girl's name. Yeah, because I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, like Dania is boy or girl also. I really don't know. Okay. So I did some research and the internet. I think the AI, the AI search says Dania is overwhelmingly a girl's name. That's what the AI search says. And then the Damia also, the internet result, AI search says the AI result, dia cakap Damia is girl's name also. Okay. So they are both girls lah, that means. So it's both girls. Yeah, twin boleh ada satu boy satu girl juga kan. Tapi ini twin both girl. Okay, so what I will do is I will write down the option we have 6 men, 7 women. So in total we have 13. Okay, because 6 men plus 7 women, right? But we are only trying to form 8 members, 4 men, 4 women. That means I have to choose 4 from here and then choose 4 from here. And then the total member in the club is 8 lah. Okay. Alright. And the twins, they are both at here. Sorry. They are both at so the 7 women dia sebenarnya consists of 5 women. And then the remaining 2 is like a twins lah. So I'll just write here T lah. So you understand it's the Dania and Damia. Okay, this one is W. Okay. So the reason I draw this is to make us understand so that we have like a general idea of what the question wants. So now A, they say find number of ways the team can be formed if there is no restriction. Okay, walaupun dia kata no restriction, but it should be 4 men and 4 women also. Because that's the rule. The tennis team has to be have 4 men, 4 women. Cannot have more than 4 men or less than 4 men. So it should be 6c4 and then times with 7c4 lah. Okay, no restriction. That means, yeah, this is how you do it. Okay, you tekan this, you get 2 5. Sorry, 5 2 5. Sorry, silap. 5 2 5. Okay, so that's how I do A. Okay, now let's go B. Okay, B. If Dania and Damia, the two girls, either must be selected together or both are not selected, find the number of possible ways. So I think I have to separate my working into two parts. The first part is we have to do for both selected. Okay, both twins selected. And then this one is both twins not selected. Yeah, because they say Dania and Damia either must be selected together or both also not selected. So like that lah, and then tengah-tengah plus lah. Right? Okay, let's find if both selected first. So if both selected okay, you have two twins here, right? So it has to be 2C2 lah. Yeah, two twins, you have to select two. But there's only 4 slot for the woman. So if you select two twins already, then you remaining two more spot for the remaining 5 women. Okay. I repeat one more time. There's 4 slot ma. 1 2 3 4. But the first two, the twin already kena together because both twin has to be selected. So 2C2 already, right? And then these two you select from the 5 women. Okay. But of course you cannot forget about the man. The man is still 6 men, choose 4. Okay. And then times lah. Okay, now let's say both not selected. That means 2C0 lah. 2C0. And if it's 2C0 means all the 4 slot has to be pilih from the 5 women lah. Because both also cannot selected. Okay, so it should be 5C4. Okay, 5C4. Okay, and then the 6 men still have to choose 4 men like that lah, and then times lah. Now you can press this. Okay, what is 2C2 times 5C2 times 6C4? 150. And then 2C, okay, this one is 0. Let me write nicely. Okay, 2C0 times 5C4 times 6C4, this one is 75. Hey, why I write M here? Oh my god. I think I'm sleepy already. Like, yeah, because it's like late night already now. I'm recording this late night. I usually record very late at night one, like in the midnight. Okay, so 150 plus 75 is 225. Yeah. Okay, done right? Yeah, sudah siap. Okay, let's finish the last part. C. The selected team, including Dania and Damia, are lined up for photo session. Okay, this one confirm use permutation one. Because when you line up for photo session, the order becomes important already. The arrangement matters. Yeah, the arrangement matters. So now suddenly you have to do P already. Okay, find the number of ways if Dania and Damia do not want to sit together. Okay, first you have to draw some slot first. So how many empty slot you have? So line up for photo session. Photo usually you take in a line, right? So how many slot? There will be 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Yeah lah, because 4 men 4 women mah. So now they said the selected team including Dania and Damia. That means the selection ends up selecting both the twins lah. So now you have, okay, the option is you have Dania and Damia, and then you have how many girls? How many women? So you have woman number 1 and woman number 2. And then the rest are all men 1, men 2, men 3, men 4. Understand, right? This is the result of the selection. Okay, now this is your members. First one is the Dania and the Damia. Okay, and then since you only have 4 slot for the woman, so both the Dania Damia sudah pilih masuk. So Dania D1 D2, then this rest must be some random 2 women from here, and then 4 men lah. Okay, now they want to line up, but the condition here is Dania and Damia do not want to sit together. Okay, first we find for no condition first. So if no condition means what? 8 E8. Okay, because 8 you no condition ma. Okay? So I should write here no condition. Okay, no condition. Okay, no condition is 8P8. So I will get 40320. Okay, so itu kalau no condition. No condition means the twins together pun boleh, tak together pun boleh, campur pun boleh, apa pun boleh. That's the meaning. But the soalan ask for Dania, Damia not together, right? Okay, you jangan buat yang not together. Habis tu buat apa? Okay, you buat yang Dania, Damia together. You buat yang Dania together, lepas tu ambil total tolak. It will be much more easy if you do it like that. Okay? Because when we learn this chapter, we always learn about how to group things up together, right? So it will be easier. Dia akan jadi lebih senang kalau you buat Dania together and then ambil jumlah tolak. Alright, so let's find out yang together. So Dania together means the D1, D2 stick together. So I'll write D1, D2 here and I will group them up because they have to move together. So now you are no longer arranging 8 people. You sekarang bukan susun 8 objek dah. Dia jadi 7 dah. Sebab ini dah jadi satu dah. So one, because they have to move together, right? So just anggap dia macam satu objek, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it becomes 7P7 already. But you have to times with 2P2 ataupun 2 factorial, because the Dania D1 D2 they can tukar jadi Dania also. Okay, it can be Dania or Dania, means dia boleh arrange in itself dalam kotak kecil ni. Dia boleh tukar tempat juga. So 7P7 times 2P2 10080. But that's not the answer. Dia nak cari yang Dania not together. So yang not together punya jawapan kita ambil yang no condition. No condition is total lah. Total jumlah tolak dengan yang together. So yang remaining, yang balance tu itu adalah jawapan 30240 and that's the answer lah. Itu jawapan untuk yang not together lah. Sebab total is 40320 and then you minus the number of ways for them to sit together. So you will get the answer like that. Okay, sudah siap. Let's continue. Okay, number 12. Okay, I see G inverse, I see H, I see FG, so maybe it's function. But then the A, it was, yeah, from 4 chapter 1. Fungsi. Function. Okay, let's read. Given a function represented by mx, okay, I should write this down. This confirm will be important one. X squared minus 4x plus 3, comma, with the domain x bigger equals p. Okay, so this is the range of x. Has the inverse function. Oh my god. Find the corresponding p value. So nak cari nilai p, but they said has the inverse function. What does that even mean? Alright. Usually only 1-to-1 relation has inverse. You all should know this. Only 1-to-1 has inverse. Okay. And if it's a quadratic curve, it will not have any inverse. Okay. Unless you put a range there. So let's draw this graph out. So this is a quadratic graph. So when you draw, you will get a parabola curve like that. Okay. So if you want to check whether the graph has inverse or not, you can do the horizontal line test. HLT stands for horizontal line test. Okay, the vertical line test is to test whether it's a function or not. And then the horizontal line test, you can use it to test whether it has inverse or not. So what you can do is you can draw a horizontal line. And if the horizontal line cuts the graph at 2 points, that means no inverse. If it cuts at 1 point, it means has inverse. So as you can see, you memang tak ada inverse. Okay, you memang tak ada inverse. Okay, unless you cut it here. Because if you cut it here, there will be inverse. Okay, but the question says the function with the domain x bigger equals p has an inverse function. So they want they put a restriction here. X has to be bigger equals p. So where do you think is the p? All right, imagine the xp. Okay, imagine this is the x-axis, right? And let's say this is the p. Just imagine lah. So imagine I restrict the domain to x bigger equals p. That means I have to erase this extra part there, right? So tell me now, do they have inverse after the p? You can see there's still inverse here, right? Yeah, even if I cut it here also, there's still inverse. I mean no inverse. Sorry, no inverse because it cuts at 2 points. Dia kena potong 1 point baru boleh ada inverse. So that means the p is not here lah. So where do you think the p? The p has to be where? You have to restrict so that the x coordinate p has to be here, right? Because if it's here, that means this whole thing gone, and doesn't matter where you draw the horizontal line, you end up with 1 point. So the horizontal line test will tell you that it will have inverse for all the value beyond that is bigger than p. For all the x value that's bigger than p. That means in order to find p, we have to find out the axis of symmetry. Or you can say you have to find out the minimum point punya x coordinate. Macam tu. And also they want bigger. So bigger means you have to tengok ke kanan. If it's smaller, okay, I think if it's smaller also same. Yeah, I think smaller also because you will erase this part, so you also need to find the same thing. Okay, so yeah, so P is definitely what, because they say bigger or equals or equals, so it definitely has to be this point right here. So how do we find this point? Okay, kalau nak cari axis of symmetry, you pernah belajar ada beberapa cara untuk cari. First cara is you can use the vertex form. You change to vertex form. Do completely the square, change to vertex form, and then when it's vertex form, you can baca daripada vertex form and then get the x coordinate, and that's the axial symmetry. Second method is you take the roots tambah bagi 2, x1 plus x2 bahagi 2. And then third method is the formula x equals negative b over 2a. But there's one more actually, the dy dx equals 0. Yeah, you can also do dy dx equals 0. Because when you do dy dx equals 0, you can find the turning point. Okay. Okay, but this is a chapter 1 soalan. So I don't think I'll be using the dy dx method. So I think I'll just do the negative b over 2a lah. Okay. So let's go. X equals negative b over 2a. The b masuk negative 4. The a masuk 1. And also the question never say which method. So I think we can just choose. Yeah. But try not to use the dy dx one lah, because that one is not the same chapter. Okay, so what you get here, x equals positive 4 over 2 is 2. And that means this is 2, right? That means the domain has to be x bigger equals p, which is x bigger equals 2. So your p is 2. Because you compare this with this. And when you compare bunting, the p is dual. That means when the x is bigger equals 2, there will be, this graph will have inverse. Yeah, because bigger equals 2 means this part of the graph is erased, and yeah, you will end up having inverse because the horizontal line test will only cut the graph at one point. Okay. Okay, but of course you don't have to draw this. Okay, I don't think the drawing is worth any marks. Okay, I just draw it to explain it lah. Okay, so that's the answer. Oh, one more thing. If you all want to do the roots method, can also. Yeah, find the x-intercept, ganti y kosong, just ganti this whole thing kosong, and then tekan kereta dapat dua jawapan, and then take the roots tambah bagi dua, can also. But usually the fast way is the negative b over 2a lah. Okay, hopefully you get it. Now I will do b already. Okay, given that g inverse hx equals to 5x plus 4, fgx equals to 1 plus 2x, find the value of fh5. Okay, when I first tried to do this question, I spent a very long time thinking how should I do this. I spent a very long time, very long time, because it's very weird. Like, look at this. They give us the g inverse hx, and then they give us the fgx. So they are both composite function, and what they want to find is also a composite function fhx, fh5, right? But we need the fhx. But this one they give is fg and g inverse h. Okay. So I actually spent a long time doing this. And on my first try, when I first tried this, this is my how I do it at first. I try and do this, but this is the wrong way lah. So I go and do like that, and I thought the g inverse pindah here becomes g 5x plus 4. Okay, sebenarnya G inverse memang boleh pindah jadi, memang macam ni boleh buat macam ni. Ini adalah betul. But it doesn't help us lah. It doesn't help us to get the, yeah, you can see is you still, I need the FH5. Yeah. So at first I did it like that, and I realized, well, it doesn't work. So I try another way lah. Okay, so I'll tell you now what's the method, the correct cara. So the correct cara is, you want FH, right? So siapa yang kacau sekarang? Cuba tengok sini, siapa kacau? Siapa yang buat kecoh, yang kacau? Siapa yang you mau buang? G kan? And do you realize this G you can buang, because G and G inverse, when they are together, you can cut. You remember you learned this? If you have F inverse also same thing, you can cut. Okay? Yeah, I remember I did this in one of the recent trial paper also. I forget which state lah, but ada satu soalan yang macam ni juga. Yang dia bagi FF inverse and then you cut. So if I can somehow make them together, the GG inverse, then it's good already, because I can cut, then I can left with FH. Okay. So what I'll do, the FGX, this X, I will sub G inverse HX. Ambil kau. Okay. Okay. I will do it slowly. I will do it slowly so you are not confused. So the FGX is equals to 1 plus 2x, right? Like that, right? But I will change this x to G inverse HX. That means The 1 plus 2x will become 1 plus 2 big bracket. This one also change to G inverse HX lah. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know why I do it like that. Because I want the GG inverse to be side by side, so I can cut. And once I cut that, I will left with FHX. Then what about the right side? Okay, the right side will just be 1 plus 2, and then the G inverse HX, you sub with this 5x plus 4. Yeah, so that's how you should do it. So your FHX answer is 1 plus, okay, the 2 times 5 is 10x, 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, kena buat darab dulu Okay, sekarang baru tambah 1 plus 8 is 9, so 10x plus 9, that's your FHX. But they want FH5. So now you just sub the x5 lah. So FH5 equals to 10 times x plus 9, and this is 5. Okay, it means you sub the 5 dalam FHX punya x. Okay, so the FHX punya x is this x, so just sub the x jadi 5, so it become 59. Okay, ini cara dia. Sudah siap? Okay, now we are at bahagian B already. So bahagian ini mengenai 3 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, I'll jawab all 3. Yeah, in this video I'll jawab all 3, all the questions. Okay, 13. What chapter? I look at this graph, I know it is Form 4 chapter 2, the quadratic function chapter. Okay, diagram 4 shows the quadratic equation fx equals x squared minus p minus 2x plus 4, and it has a minimum value, minimum point, sorry, h negative k. So yeah, they label for me already, and the equation is this. Okay, I should write it y equals, okay, x squared. Okay, this one is general form actually. Okay, but I'll take the negative darab masuk, so it becomes negative p plus 2 like that, and then the x stay there plus 4. Okay, all right, so this is actually in general form already lah, and they give you the minimum point. So maybe later have to find the minimum point. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, number 1, express P in terms of H. All right, so let's do number 1 here. Okay, how to form an equation that has P and H. All right, H is the x coordinate. So that's the axis of symmetry. Okay, yeah, because the x coordinate will tell you the axis of symmetry. And then P is, okay, negative P plus 2 is the B. So how can we connect the B value and the axis of symmetry value together? By using the negative b over 2a formula lah. Because you learned before, when you find axis of symmetry, you do x equals negative b over 2a. Okay, and if you want to convert, you want to connect the h and the p in one equation, that's what you should do. So negative b over 2a will be negative b over 2a. The a is 1, then the b refer here, negative p plus 2. Now you understand, right, why I take the negative times inside. Okay? Because if I don't times inside, then later there will be 2 brackets here, then it looks like, it looks funny already. And then this will be h. Yeah, because the axis of symmetry is x equals h. Okay? So your h will be equals to this. So your h answer comes out already lah, p minus 2 over 2, and that's all. Sudah siap? Dia mau p single. Oh, sorry. P in terms of H, bukan H in terms of P. So I still have to do, jadi darab, so 2H, kena P yang single lah. So P sama dengan 2H plus 2. So P equals 2H plus 2. Ini baru betul. Okay, continue. Soalan 2, by using the number line method. Okay, this one is confirm already, confirm. If they say number line confirm is 2.1 and it's under quadratic inequalities. Yang ada bigger, smaller tu. Okay, now find the range of values of P if the minimum point is HK and the y-intercept does not change. Oh my god, apa pula ni? What does it mean? Okay, let's read in bahasa Melayu. I want to make sure I understand the question. Cari julat nilai P. Okay, P is this one. Jika titik minimum adalah HK. Wait, tapi you punya titik minimum bukan H negative K ya? And then it say pintasan Y tidak berubah. Okay, so point ni tak berubah. Oh, that means the minimum point change already lah. So from H negative K to HK. So for example, let's say this one is 2 negative 6. But it changed to HK, so it becomes 2.6 already. So 2.6 is like up here already lah. Okay. So your new curve will be like that. Right? So the red color is your new curve. And they say using number line method, find the range of values of P if the minimum point is, the y-intercept does not change. Means the C never changed lah. The C never changed. What about the A? The A got changed. Yes, the A confirm will change. Let me tell you why. Because when you move up like that, imagine you bring down this curve. You bring down this curve, it's gonna be wider, right? Like if you bring down this curve, Yeah, it's gonna be wider. The width will be increasing. So the A will change. And then, so what they want actually, find the range of P, the minimum point. Uh, okay. So if they want to use number line method, means confirm you have to form a quadratic inequalities. It means later you're working with the other bigger or smaller, something like that, right? So if you move up this point, you realize that the graph now, because the minimum point, if both the value is positive, right? Both this is positive, that means it will not touch the x-axis lah. So it means it has no roots. So and when it has no roots, you do b squared minus 4ac smaller than 0. Yeah, that's what you will do. B squared minus 4ac smaller than 0. Because when you move it up, the range for the discriminant for the b squared minus 4ac will be negative. Okay. So that's what I will do. And when you sub all the BAC inside, you can find the range of P later. Okay. Okay, so the B is negative P plus 2, the A is 1, the C is 4. Yeah, so from here you see already it's a quadratic inequality. Eh? Okay, but later I have to use number line method. But let's get our X value first. I mean P value. Your P value. But first, let's make it general form. Okay, how to expand this? First, you take negative P square, which is P square. And then negative P times 2 is negative 2P times 2, negative 4P. And then 2 square is 4. Okay, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, smaller than 0. Number dengan number boleh buat. So P square minus 4P. 4 minus 16 is negative 12, lesser than 0. And then factorize, get our two answers here. So my calculator give me negative 2 and 6. But you have to kosong satu baris, right? Bracket, bracket. And then yang ni smaller 0 ikut atas. So P minus 2, P hantar balik jadi plus 2, plus 6 hantar jadi minus 6. Okay, here you write smaller, but here you have to write equal, equal. And then now only you use one of the method you learn. Okay, there's three method, right? To solve this. You can either do the graph sketching method, or the number line method, or the table method. But this one, they already said use number line. So later I'll do number line. Okay, so I'll continue here. And then later I'll do number line. Okay, but even if you use the other two method, even if you use the other two method also, you have to do this first. Ya, you kena buat sampai sini dulu, baru boleh guna one of the three cara. Okay, sekarang kita buat number line. So I will draw a number line. Bam. Okay, I takut tak cukup tepat, so I buat sini. Okay, and then you need to label the two numbers negative 2 and 6. So the small number you write first, the big number you write after, and then cut it into, separate the region like that. And then this region you will write down what it represents lah. So this represents region for P smaller than negative 2, and this is the region for P bigger than 6. And then this region represents P in between negative 2 and 6. Okay. And if your soalan ada equal, that means you pun letak equal lah. Tapi ini dia tak ada. Dia tak ada. So tak payah. Okay, yang atas ini apa kena buat? You have to cari, you have to ganti nilai tu. You have to choose a value P that is smaller than negative 2, any number, and then sub inside. And then see whether you end up with a positive number or negative number. So P smaller than negative 2, you can take negative 3. And then you sub into this. Okay. Actually, you sub this one also can. But usually, I teach students to sub inside the bracket one. So it becomes bracket, bracket. Okay, the first bracket is P plus 2. So negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. And then negative 3 minus 6 is negative 9. And then when you times, you get positive 9. But we don't actually care about the value. We only care about the sign. So if it's positive, then it's positive. And then the P, okay, this one you have to choose value between negative 2 and 6. You can take 0 lah. Yeah, if you want to choose any number between negative number and positive number, 0 will always be there. So let's sub 0. So there will be two bracket. Okay, the first bracket is 0 plus 2 is 2. 0 minus 6, negative 6. So negative 12. So it's negative. Last one, P bigger than 6. Okay, I'll just use 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. 7 minus 6 is 1. 9 times 1 is 9. So it's positive. Okay, after you're done, now you check whether you want the bracket to be smaller 0 or bigger 0. So now you can see they want it to be smaller 0. It means you want the bracket to be negative. So tell me, which one you sub just now get negative? The middle one, right? So the answer would be the middle region, which is P in between negative 2 and 6. So that's the answer. So this is how you do the number line method. Okay. Okay, that's all for this. So that's it. Okay, let's do B. All right, given that 2 plus 2i and 2 minus 2i are the roots of the quadratic equation, but I is a square root negative 1, and it means imaginary roots. So that means this quadratic curve cannot touch the x-axis. Okay, Yeah, it's roots, but it's imaginary roots. So it's not a real roots. So maksudnya quadratic equation ni dia punya apa? Dia tak sentuh paksi x, and dia punya b square minus 4ac mesti smaller than 0. Yeah. Because when it has no roots, then the answer will come out like that. Ada I. Eh? Because because you know the quadratic formula, right? Negative b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. So when this thing comes out negative, when this thing comes out negative, square root negative automatic tak boleh buat di. Because square root negative is math error. Okay, but but we can use the I symbol to write it lah. Because I represents square root negative 1. So when you see I means automatic the number dalam square root ni is negative. That's why tak boleh buat. Okay, no solution. No roots. Okay, number 1. Find the differential value of the quadratic equation. Okay, don't look at the English one. Just look at the bahasa Melayu one. So find the what? Cari nilai pembeza layan persamaan kuadratik tersebut. Okay, pembeza layan dalam English is called discriminant. So I don't know why they write differential value. Okay, so yeah, it's called discriminant. Okay, it's called discriminant, not differential value. Okay, so I think they made a mistake on the English part lah. So pembeza layan means they want to find the b square minus 4ac, but we need the equation. Without the equation, I can't find my thing, right? But can I use this equation? I don't think so, right? Yeah, I think A and B is different, maybe different. Okay, I think it's different, yeah. So it's not the same. Yeah, we cannot use information from here. So, how to find B square minus 4AC? Okay, we know it's negative, right? That for sure we know. It will be negative, but negative berapa? Okay, they give us the roots. 2 plus 2i, 2 minus 2i. So I think I will do number 2 first lah, guys. Yeah, because number 2 says form the quadratic equation, right? So later we do the sopor for this. Yeah, form equation, bagi roots, we use sopor. And then after I do number 2, after I get the equation general form, baru saya cari ni lah, BAC. Because kalau nak buat B square minus 4AC, kita kena tahu nilai ABC dulu. So let's do number 2 first lah. Alright, so we already know the two roots. X1 is 2 plus 2i. It's the imaginary roots. And then X2 is a 2 minus 2i. Okay, and then when you form equation, you always do SOPO. Okay, always do SOPO. Okay, so when you form equation, the formula you'll be using is this: x square minus SOR x plus POR equal 0. So you have to find out the SOR and POR so you can ganti masuk dalam sini. Then you get your general form lah. Okay, let's do the SOR. Sum of roots will be x1 plus x2, which is 2 plus 2i plus with 2 minus 2i. Okay, when you plus with two terms, you don't have to put bracket also can, because plus dia takkan affect anything. Okay, 2 plus 2 dapat 4, 2i minus 2i cut jadi kosong, so your SOR is 4. So nanti sini boleh masuk 4. What about the POR? Okay, kena ambil hasil darab punca. So product of roots 2 plus 2i multiply 2 minus 2i. And the way to darab this one is you have to expand like this: 2 times 2, 4, 2 times negative 2i, negative 4i. 2i times 2 is positive 4i. 2i times negative is negative 4i square. Yeah, because 2 times 2 is 4, and then I times I square. And then negative 4i plus 4i is going to be 0. 4 minus, okay, what is 4i square? I told you I is square root negative 1. So ganti je lah. And you know why this one can do is because square root and square can cut. So it means your I is negative 1 and your I square is negative 1. Because if I is square root negative 1, then I square will be negative 1 lah. Because when you take the square root, then ini square dia boleh cut. Macam tu. So that means this one boleh letak negative 1. So dapatlah 4. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. So dapat 8. So after you get your SOR POR, finally you can form the equation already. So it will be x square minus SOR x plus POR. So x square minus SOR, which is 4x plus 8 equals 0 lah. Okay, this is your question 2 punya jawapan. Now come back to question 1. Cari nilai pembeza layan, which is the b square minus 4ac. So we do the b square minus 4ac lah. Bam, bam, bam. Macam ni masuk. And then b masuk negative 4. A masuk dari sini 1, sini 8. And before I press, I already know mesti negative. Mesti negative. So yeah, I got negative 16. So that's the value. Okay. How come I know it's negative? Is because, yeah, the roots is a complex number. It's imaginary roots. So definitely negative. Okay. So I think this is the answer. Okay. Alright. This is how I would do it. Hope you understand. Let's continue. Okay, 14 chapter apa pula ni? Using coordinate geometry. Okay, from 4 chapter 7 coordinate geometry. Okay, let's read. Given that point P is 1P, point Q is Q2, are 2 points on the curve y equals 8 over x. Find the values of P and Q. Hey, hello. If this is on the curve, that means these 2 points will passes through this curve. That means you can find the PQ just by substituting the point inside. So for y equals 8 over x, you just sub lah. When x equals 1, y equals p, and then it becomes p equals 8 over 1, p equals 8, done. That means this one is 1, 8. And then for that's the point P. Alright, and then for the other one also just do the same. When x equals to q, y equals to 2, so you sub inside becomes y equals to 2 equals to 8 over x is q. Okay, q hantar jadi 2 times q, so 2q 8, q equals to 8 divided 2, 4. So the q is 4. That means this one is 4, 2 point q. Alright, soalan A sudah siap. Now for B pula. For B, they says find the equation of straight line PQ. Oh my god, this is so easy. Seriously, they ask like that. Okay, so you already have the 2 points, mah. Cari gradient dulu lah. Yeah, when you find equation, they must ada gradient. So how to find gradient? You need to have 2 points, and you already have the 2 points yang passes through garisan. So just do gradient y minus y over x minus x. So 8 minus 2 over 1 minus 4 like that. 8 minus 2 is 6, 1 minus 4 is -3, and you get -2. Okay, after you have your gradient, you also need your y-intercept. Because when you form equation, dia mesti y equal mx plus c, right? And you kena cari you punya m dengan c lah. And the c kalau you ada c tu you masuk je kalau ada lah. Tapi kalau tak ada, then you can use the formula y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. Yeah, because when we do Addmaths, when we find equation, we will always use this formula. Okay. Okay, now tell me the C ada tak dia bagi? Tak bagi. Ini bukan y-intercept, ini pun bukan y-intercept. These are just two random points. How you know whether it's a y-intercept or not? Okay, if the x coordinate is 0, then the y coordinate will be the y-intercept. But this one, the x is not 0. So obviously we have to do the y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. And then later the gradient kena masuk -2 lah. So it becomes y minus something, x minus something, this one -2. And for the point x1, y1, you can ganti point P pun boleh, point Q pun boleh. Asalkan dia ada passes through, then boleh already. So dua-dua pun ada passes through, so dua-dua boleh. Okay, I want to use 4, 2 lah. Okay, 4 is the x coordinate, so letak dekat x, tapi kena tukar tanda. 2 is the y, so letak dekat y, tapi kena tukar tanda. Kenapa kena tukar tanda? Sebab formula dia minus. Y minus y, x minus x. Okay, y minus 2 equals to darab dapat -2x, -2 times -4, positive 8, y equals -2x plus 8 plus 2 plus 10. Siap, ini jawapan. Right? So simple. Okay, let's do C. Okay, using the geometric coordinate method. Okay, I don't know why they mentioned this, but it's okay. Let's read the whole thing first. Find the equation of tangents to the curve parallel to straight line PQ. Huh? Okay, dalam bahasa Melayu, dengan menggunakan kaedah koordinat geometri, cari persamaan. So ada dua persamaan. Okay, I don't know. Persamaan tangent kepada lengkung yang selari dengan garis lurus PQ. Ah, selari dengan garis lurus PQ. So your gradient tangent is -2. Yeah, so gradient tangent is -2 lah. Tapi point nak masuk apa? Tak boleh masuk point atas ni kan? Uh, find the equation of tangent. Okay, parallel to PQ means the gradient tangent is confirmed -2 one. But in order to find equation, we need to have the point yang passes through. But dia tak cakap passes through siapa kan? We cannot just use point P, point Q, suka hati. Okay, so I think for this question, okay, I'll just draw it out. Yeah, I'll just draw it out and let's see what happens. Because kebetulan I know how this graph looks like. This is a reciprocal graph. Yeah, it's called a reciprocal graph. When you have the x bawah macam tu, it's called a reciprocal graph, and you will end up having a curve like this, and like this. This is called a reciprocal graph. And if the nombor atas is negative, then it will be here and here. Same shape. Okay. Tapi kalau positive, it will be like this lah. Okay. We do know that the point P and point Q is on the curve, right? It's on the curve. And since it's 1, 8, so definitely on this corner right here. Because positive number, both positive. So 1 is like lebih kurang here lah. And then 8 maybe is like lebih kurang here lah. Point P18. And then point Q is further right because it's 4 mah. And then it's lower a bit. So it's like something like that. Q42. So Q42. Okay, I remember just now I find the equation of PQ. So equation PQ is actually like this line lah. Right? It's actually this line. Okay. And the line equation of this line, we know the gradient is -2 because I do just now the gradient PQ is -2, right? And now they say find the equation of tangents to the curve parallel to straight line PQ. So that means I will duplicate this line, duplicate, and then put the line where I should put the line. Equation of tangent. Tangent means it can only touch the curve at one point, right? So that means it has to be here lah. Or it can be here also, right? Yeah, touches here one point. Oh, sebab tu lah dia cakap persamaan, dua persamaan. Yeah, one line at here because it touches the curve at one point, right? And you can see it's parallel. Yeah, dia kena parallel dengan PQ, right? So parallel, parallel, and it's also parallel. And they say cari persamaan, persamaan. So that's why I got 2 points lah. I mean two lines. One tangent line at here, which touches the curve at one point. Another one also here, right? But the big problem is I need this point. I already know the gradient, right? Because later we have to use this formula. Y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. And in order to use this formula, we need to have the gradient. And not only that, we also need a point yang passes through. Okay. So definitely we cannot use point P and point Q because dia tak sentuh pun point P, point Q. So how ah? Okay. I think I have to do dy dx lah, guys. I think I have to do dy dx. Yeah, it's the only way. I can't think of any other way. But the soalan say using geometric coordinate method. What method I can do? Like PQ, takkanlah nak cari midpoint. If you cari midpoint, okay, this one is 1, this one is 4. And in between ada 2, ada 3, betul? But there's also 2.5, 3.5, 1.5. But how do you know? How do you know like this one is it like 1.5 or 2? Like, yeah, there's no way for us to know, right? You cannot just assume like it's the midpoint of 1 and 4. The only way is to do dy dx lah, guys. Okay, I'll just do dy dx lah. Even though I know they say using geometric coordinate, but whatever. That like okay. If you do dy dx boleh dapat because dy dx will give you the gradient curve, right? And then you take the gradient curve equals -2, then you straight away know the x coordinate already. Okay, and I feel like there's no other way already. Okay, let's try doing it first. So y equals 8x power -1 because we want to differentiate, so we have to naik atas, and then the dy dx will give you -8x power -2 because you take -1 times 8 and then -8 and then power -1 and then you put it back down like that, and then this whole thing you don't have the x coordinate, right? You don't have the x coordinate, but you know that the gradient tangent will be 2, -2, sorry. That means you can take -8 over x square equals to -2 to find the x. Okay, maksudnya walaupun kita tak tahu nilai x, tapi saya tahu bila saya sub nilai x tu, the whole thing will be -2. The gradient tangent will be -2. So you can find your x square here. Okay, the negative boleh hilang terus because negative divided negative is positive, and then the x square hantar atas jadi x square, and then 2 hantar bawah jadi bahagi. 8 divided 2 is 4, and then x equals to square jadi square root, so plus minus square root 4, so it becomes x equals plus minus 2. That means when the gradient tangent is -2, there will be 2x coordinate, 2 and -2. And it's very clear already, this one is 2. And then the x coordinate here automatic is -2 already. Yeah, the other one automatic is this one already. Okay. Yeah, there's only two. Okay, there's two answer, and also there's two tangent line that has the gradient -2. I draw it for you, right? So confirm one is this lah. Then how to get the y coordinate? Take ganti balik dalamnya. Y equals 8 over x. So 8 divided x, 8 divided 2 is 4, and then 8 divided -4. Okay, so now with the points, now we can find the equation already. Okay. Okay, I need space. Okay, so the first point is 2, 4 with the gradient tangent -2. Okay, And then later I have to do one more time for gradient tangent same -2, but the other point is -2, -4 like that. Okay. Okay, the formula I will use to do the equation is y minus y equals gradient x minus x. So y minus 4 equals to gradient -2 x minus 2. And then this one will be y minus y. So y minus -4 y plus 4 lah, equals to gradient tangent -2 x minus -2 x plus 2. Okay, now it becomes y minus 4 equals kembang expand -2 x plus 4. And then y equals -2 x 4 plus 4 is 8. So that's your first answer. And then y plus 4, this one is -2 times x, -2x times -2 times 2, -4. Y equals -2x, -4 minus 1, -8. Okay. So the soalan asks for equations of tangents. Cari persamaan tangent yang selari dengan PQ. So ada dua line tangent lah yang selari dengan PQ. Yang ni dengan yang ni. And you can see they are all selari sebab gradient semua -2, -2. Okay. Selari dengan PQ lah. PQ punya gradient pun -2 mah. Okay. This is how I will do it. Hope you get it. Alright, that's all. Oh, finally, last question already. Oh, let's finish it. Okay, I see the integration sign. Confirm from 5 chapter 3. Okay, let's do A. Given that integrate this equals to this, find the value of A and B. Very easy. Just integrate the left side and then banding lah. Okay, so I will integrate this one. Okay, but when you integrate you have to make sure tak boleh ada X bawah. And then kalau boleh expand, kena expand dulu. Okay, yang ni dia ada X bawah and dia boleh hantar atas. And when you hantar atas you kena make sure atas tak ada X baru boleh hantar. Okay, atas sekarang tak ada X so boleh hantar. So straight away jadi 2X plus 7. And then kuasa 3 kena tukar tanda jadi -3 dx. Okay. Okay, the right side yang tu jangan tengok dulu. Yang tu nanti bila saya siap baru bila saya compare baru saya tengok. So sekarang saya equal and then I just integrate myself lah. Okay, when you this one dia punya integrate dia tak ada number sini. So we call this indefinite integral. Dalam bahasa Melayu kameran tak tentu. So untuk kameran tak tentu dia kena ada tambah C nanti. Later kena ada plus C. That's why you look at the answer here, dia pun ada plus C. So later after I integrate, I have to write plus C at the back. Ya, sebab dia jenis integrate yang tak ada number. Alright, let's integrate now. For this kind of expression, I will integrate using the special way. The special way is like this. 3 bracket 2x plus 7 and then the power straight away plus 1 jadi -2. Divide with the power -2 but we have to differentiate dalam bracket sekali. Okay, so differentiate 2x is 2 and differentiate 7 is 0 like that. Okay, and don't forget to write plus C lah. Okay. Later I have to compare my answer with their answer, and if you look at their answer, they actually put the 2x plus 7 down. They actually put it down and make the power positive. So let's do that. 2x plus 7 power -2, I put it down like that. Jadi 2x plus 7 power 2, and then the 3 over -4, I'll just write it like this, -3 over 4 like this plus C. Okay, the negative suka hati. Nak tulis atas pun boleh, nak tulis bawah pun boleh, but I'll just write in the middle lah. Alright, now it's done already. This one you can compare with this already. So cari nilai A dan B. So you compare lah. So saya ada plus C, dia pun ada plus C. Saya punya atas 3, dia punya atas A. Well, actually ada negative lah. So it's actually A -3 lah. And then saya ada 2x plus 7 square. Dia pun ada 2x plus 7 square. Tapi dia punya nombor sebelum tu B. So nombor sebelum 4. So ni 4 lah. Okay. But I feel like you can also write like this. I feel like you can also write like this. A equals 3, B equals -4. This is considered correct also. Yeah. In my opinion, this is considered correct also. You know why? Because the negative, you can write it atas pun boleh, bawah pun boleh. Yeah, because -3 over 4 and 3 over -4 and -3 over 4, these are all same thing. Okay. And if you put the -4 down, then that means your B is -4. Okay. Yeah, so if you write like that, it's considered correct also. Like this also can. Yeah. In my opinion, both is correct. Okay. Okay, let's do next. B. Apa ini? If 3 minus 4x plus dy dx equals 3x squared, where dy dx is the gradient function gf of a curve passing through the origin, find value of integrate 1 to 3 y dx. Apa ni? Alright, they give us this, and then dy dx is the gf. Passing through, find value of integrate this. Okay, I feel like I have to find dy dx from here. After finding the dy dx from here, find the y. And then after find the y, then integrate the y. Yeah, that's the only way. Okay, yeah, I think that's the plan now. So we have to find dy dx from here lah. So we have to pindah a bit. So to find dy dx, have to pindah a bit. So 3x square have to Okay, I'll pindah minus 4x sana dulu jadi plus 4x, and then 3 hantar jadi minus 3. But I'm trying to find y. Yeah, because later I have to integrate y, right? So how to find y? Okay, yang ini adalah jawapan selepas awak differentiate. So kalau you nak dapatkan jawapan sebelum differentiate, you kena integrate benda ni lah. Or you can do it like this. Just anggap D ni sebagai differentiate, hantar sana jadi integrate. And then dx duduk bawah, bila hantar dia jadi duduk atas macam ni. And then 3x square plus 4x minus 3. I always explain it like this to my student. Just anggap D and dx ni pindah. Tapi you jangan potong jangan potong. Just potong in your head lah. D hantar jadi integrate, dx hantar. Okay, now can start to integrate. And again, it's a kamaran yang tak tentu. Tak tentu means dia tak ada number. And when there's no number here, you have to write plus C. So it becomes 3x power 3 over 3. Because when you integrate, the power have to plus 1. And then divide with the power. And then plus, same thing here, the 4x power plus 1, you become 2 over 2. And then integrate number, just letak x. And then I have to write plus C. Okay. So now, you will get y equals to 3 and 3 cut already. So it becomes x power 3. 4 divided 2 cut becomes 2x squared minus 3x plus c. Okay, is there any way for me to find the c? No. Because they never give us any coordinate here. Hey, they say passing through origin. So can I sub 0, 0? Yes. So when x, yeah, because they say the curve passing through origin, right? And origin is 0, 0. So yeah, you need that to find the c. Kalau tak nanti you susah because if you don't get the c later when you integrate here, how you want to know? Like you don't even know the c value, right? Yeah, so you will have problem. So you have to find the c now. When x equals 0, y equals 0, because passing through origin, so 0 equals to yeah, all these will just become 0 lah, because 0 power 3 is 0, 0 square 0, 0 times 2, 0, 0, 3 times 0, 0, 0 plus 0 minus 0, 0, 0 plus c. Yeah, it means that everything here, just everything, whole thing becomes 0. Okay, so your c is 0. So when you rewrite the whole equation again, it will just be x power 3 plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 0. Plus c means plus 0, but you don't have to write that. Okay, okay, so with that now you can find what the question want already, which is this one, integrate 1 to 3 y dx. So just do it lah. So continue here. Integrate 1 to 3 y. Okay, this is y. X power 3 plus 2x squared minus 3x dx. Okay, this is y. Okay, now we have to integrate this. And I'm sure this one later nanti jawapan tak ada plus C. Sebab ini dia ada number mah. So kalau ada number, dia kamaran tentu. Dia definite integral. Definite integral, when you integrate, you will not write the plus C. Instead, you have to take the 3 1 sub inside later. Okay. Okay, first you have to integrate first lah. X power plus 1 is 4 divided with 4. Power plus 1 jadi power 3 over 3. Power plus 1 jadi 3x squared over 2. And then, since you have a number here, you have to write the number here. And then the 3 and 1 have to sub inside. And when you sub inside, there will be 2 bracket. Tengah-tengah minus lah. But kalau dalam boleh simplify, you kena simplify dulu. Tapi dalam ni sudah tak boleh simplify. Nothing you can cut here. Everything is like, yes, cannot simplify already. So just ganti 3 dalam. So when you ganti 3 dalam, 3 power 4 will be 81. So 81 over 4 plus ganti 3 dalam, 3 power 3, 27. 27 divided 3, 9. 9 times 2, 18. Minus 3 power 2, 9. 9 times 3, 27 over 2. Okay. You can use your calculator to help you lah. Okay, ganti 1. 1 power 4 is 1. So 1 over 4 plus 1 power 3 is 1. 1 times 2 over 3. 2 over 3. Ganti 1 sini, 1 square 1. 1 times negative 3 over 2. Okay. Okay, now it's time to press this. 81 over 4 plus 18 minus 27 over 2. I got 99 over 4. And then sini minus, saya pun minus. 1 over 4 plus 2 over 3 minus 3 over 2. Tekan dapat negative 7 over 12. And then minus minus jadi plus. And then when you plus, you dapat 76 over 3. So that's the answer. For B. For B. Okay, for the last one, C. Let's get it. Given that integrate 3k, okay, the limit is 3k plus 2 and 2q minus k, x squared dx equals to 0. Express k in terms of q. Okay, I don't think you have to integrate. Yeah, you don't have to integrate. Because if your integrate answer comes out is 0, that means these two number has to be the same number. So automatic 2q minus k straight away equals 3k plus 2. Okay. Yeah, you learn this in the property of definite integral. Okay. Okay, let me give you the notes. Okay, I'll just write here. Properties of definite integral. Dalam bahasa Melayu, ciri-ciri kamaran tentu integral. If you are my student, you lagi kena tahu lah benda ni sebab saya ada ajar. So ada 5. Okay, okay lah. I don't want to write this lah. I'll just straight away give you. Okay, ada 5 properties. First one, integrate. Kalau saya bagi integrate A to B fx dx with the k boleh hantar depan. Kalau darab, kalau hubungan darab boleh letak depan macam ni. Fx dx. Second one, if you have integrate A to B fx dx, you boleh terbalikkan number ni jadi B to A fx dx. Tapi you kena tukar tanda, kena letak negatif. Okay. If the original one is negative, then after you terbalik jadi positif lah. Okay, next one is when you have integrate A to B, dalam ada 2 function, fx plus minus gx macam ni. This one you boleh pecahkan. Dia akan jadi integrate A to B fx dx plus minus integrate A to B gx dx. Okay. Okay, next one is when you have 2 separate integration, but the dalam kena sama. Dalam fx sama. And then tengah-tengah kena plus. And then yang ni A to B, yang ni B to C. And then yang ni sama, dia boleh potong. Then it will become integrate A to C fx dx. Tapi ada syarat. Syarat dia mesti plus. And then dalam kena sama. And also the nombor silang kena sama. B macam ni. Okay. Kalau silang sini sama pun boleh. Kalau silang, as long as dia silang, then can cut. And then left with atas C and then bawah A macam ni. Right? Okay, the last property. When you have integrate AA fx dx, it will be 0. Yeah, when this number and this number is same, automatic will be 0 di. We don't care about the fx already. Kalau nombor dua nombor ni sama, automatic 0 di. Kenapa? Sebab usually after you integrate, you kena ganti nilai atas dalam benda tu, and then ganti nilai bawah dalam benda tu, and then tolak kan. So imagine if these 2 number is the same. That means you ganti dapat satu benda, and then you minus dengan same thing lah. You ambil satu nombor tolak dengan dia sendiri. Mestilah dapat kosong. Okay. So this question I'm doing now, we will use this property, right? Because they say integrate this whole thing equals to 0. That means these 2 number must be the same number lah. That's the confirm, right? So now we just have to jadikan k single sebab dia nak k in terms of q. So minus k jadi plus 3 plus k. 1 is 4k plus 2 jadi minus 2, 2q minus 2. So your 4k is equals to 2q minus 2. So k, okay, bila pindah 4 bahagi 4, tapi 2q minus 2 ni dia boleh faktor 2 tau. They both can divide by 2. And you should do that because 2 and 4 later can potong. So I will divide by 2, tinggal q minus 1 over 4 like that. And then 2 and 4 can cut left with 2 like that. So q minus 1 over 2 like that. Yeah, ini baru betul. Okay. Alright, I think I'm done with the 15C. And I think that's also the last question, right? Yeah, this is the Z value table. So yeah, I'm done. Okay. Okay. Hopefully this video helps some of you for your revision. Okay. And also, if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. And also, if you are interested to gain the early access for all my future videos, you can join my channel membership. All the link is in the description. Okay. Okay. So I'll see you next video lah. Next video I'll do paper 2. Alright. Bye bye.